New week, as Victor has mentioned, students are sitting for their examinations beginning 8:30 a.m. this morning, and I just want to wish each and every one of them all the best as they sit for their exams. Now, that aside, today being a Monday, you know that we get to talk matters, family. We try to look at issues and conversations to tackle around the family setup. And speaking about, the examinations happening, we also know that at the same time, the holidays are here. So the long holiday break is here with us. So we're going to be looking at how to navigate the long holiday break, trying to just look at, now children are home full time. What now? From the parents' perspective, from the guardian's perspective, and also trying to look at ways in which you can engage your child in different activities so that they are not too idle, because 2 months is a really long time. You definitely want to stay tuned for that conversation. I will be joined by Anthony Njenga, who is a psychologist and a mental health champion as well as mentor. We'll also have Nelly Mutai, who is a multimedia creative as well as an actress, and Mike Maichu, who's a trainer, a mentor, and the CEO Pro Mentors Africa. That conversation will be coming to you at around 8:45 a.m. So stay tuned. Mike?
Good morning, Vivian. And actually, that's a very long time, a holiday for students who are in school. And it's upon the parents to ensure that they have quite a good time, and they have time to sit down and have a tete-a-tete with their children, even as the holiday progresses. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Migu. A lot, as you have heard, has been prepared for you. So remember that you can be part of every conversation that happens right here on Good Morning Kenya. We are at KBC Channel 1 on all social media platforms. Let me interest you with a quote to start your day, and by extension, to start your week. Each morning, we are born again. What we do today is what matters most. Each morning, we are born again. What we do today is what matters most. That is a quote by Buddha. Good morning, Marie.
Good morning, Mike. So,
how are you doing?
You and I are born again today?
Everybody. Because every morning actually presents a clean slate for you to start all over again. Yeah. Like
someone said, today is the beginning of my life. There's a phrase or a quote, so I can't remember who said it. But it's more or less the same thing, because it's all about resetting. So every single day you have time to reset. But it's also difficult. It's not that easy. Because we get caught up in so many things. Trying to, like, for instance, the kids who are going to be doing the examinations, the parents are busy trying to see whether, to ensure that their children are comfortable as they do the examination. So we're always caught up in life, but it's true. It's time to slow down every day, especially in the mornings, and just get things rolling slowly. So thank you so much, Mike, for that quote. And thank you also for joining us. This is Good Morning Kenya. You're just in time for the news this morning. My name is Marie Yambo. And without any further ado, let me take you through the day's headlines, where over 2.4 million learners will sit the Kenya Primary School Assessment and the Kenya Junior Education Assessment examinations set to officially begin today, marking the start of a crucial period for millions of learners that is across the country. According to the timetable released by the Kenya National Examination Council, the 3-day assessment will run from Monday to Wednesday across all registered centers. Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos Ogamba has called for vigilance and integrity in the exams, warning that stern action will be taken against anyone involved in any malpractice.
Watoto wetu wameanza kufanya mtihani wa 2025.
The stage is set for this year's primary school assessments, with 1.3 million grade 9 candidates set to sit the inaugural Kenya Junior School Education Assessment KJSEA countrywide on Monday. According to Kenya National Examination Council's revised timetable, the Pioneer Grade 9 cohort's first session paper will be English language. Candidates with hearing impairment and visually impaired candidates will be accorded extra time in an exam that will start at 8:30 a.m. and end at 10:40 a.m. This will be followed by English composition and literary analysis for both sets of learners between 11:10 a.m. and 1:25 p.m. Similarly, 1.2 million grade 6 learners will also sit their Kenya Primary School Education Assessment, KBC. The assessment timetable indicates that the candidates will do mathematics from 8:30 a.m. to 9:50 a.m., mathematics large print from 8:30 a.m. to 9:50 a.m., and mathematics braille from 8:30 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. This will be followed by English assessment, including for learners with hearing impairment, between 10:50 a.m. and 12:10 p.m. Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos Ogamba has cautioned school heads and students that action will be taken against any individual caught trying to compromise the integrity of the national examinations.
Na ukipatikana ukiengage in any malpractice or irregularity, kwa sababu tumeelezea watu vile inatakana kufanywa, sheria itachukua mkondo yake na utafungwa.
24,213 center managers will be in charge of centers that will have both KBC and KGC. Additionally, 26,479 supervisors and 125,492 invigilators will administer the 2025 KBC and KGC. Meanwhile, Teachers Union NAT Mumias Branch Secretary General Cyprian Mukamani is calling on the Ministry of Education to honor the invigilators and teachers by paying their dues on the right time without delays.
We are going to invigilate the exam. We shall mark, we shall combine lists and take to Nairobi. It will be very unfair after we have done this. At the end of the day, we are told there is no money.
Parents have been urged to accord candidates the necessary support throughout the examination period.
We want parents now, you give us ample time, because we shall not know any parent who is allowed to give a visit to the school during this time.
Thank you, Joseph Wakongo, for that report. And definitely we do wish all the candidates the very best in the examinations. And we'll also be expecting a link from my colleague, that is Wycliffe Okech, who is actually out and about just seeing how the preparations are going on, even as the exams begin today. So, but before that, let's move on, but we'll bring you Wycliffe Okech in just a short moment. A family in Kakamega is distraught following the discovery of the body of their 21-year-old daughter lying in a pit. Her family, who have been searching for her since Friday when she went missing, are alleging foul play, calling for speedy probe into her death. This comes amid concerns over the failure by one of the landlords to seal off the pit where her body was discovered. Nancy Okware with the details of the search that ended in tragedy, with more questions than answers.
What began as a search for 21-year-old Wendy Eda, who went missing on Friday, has ended in tragedy. This following the discovery of her lifeless body inside a sewage pit in Juakali Phase 2 estate on the outskirts of Kakamega town. Her mother vividly recalls her last moments with Wendy.
Mtoto wangu aliamuka ni mzima, akaosha vyombo, akagana nichekea tu, ananiambia mama be strong, venye mimi niko strong. Kwani nilikuwa strong, sikujua mtoto wangu ananiaga.
The family is now alleging foul play, calling for a speedy probe.
Lakini kuna one man alikuwa na threatening mtoto wangu kila sana. I want to marry you. Huyu mtu anaishi hapo juu. Alikuwa suspect wangu wa kwanza. Niliona nikamwambia mtoto wangu sijampata. Akacheka tu, nikamwambia unacheka na itakuwa una serious note. Nikanyamaza. Kama mtu aliona weakness ya mtoto wangu amfanyie kitendo. Asema mtoto alijirusha kwa shimo.
Kama alichukua advantage ya kuona labda amepata bibi, labda amepata girlfriend, but sasa maybe aliona after kumdandia hiyo maofu, mtoto wangu apatane na kifo kama hiyo.
Residents are blaming the landlord for endangering the lives of tenants by leaving the pit uncovered.
Hii shimo, sheria ya Kenya inasema mtu yote uchimbe choo na ufunike. Na ikiwa hii choo imekaa karibu miaka 3, mpaka karibu watoto wawili wakufie ndani,
Nilikuwa na machozi mingi, nikasema Undunga, nimekuambia mara mingi drone tufunge. Undunga mapatizo maisha mtoto wangu.
Nimepigia health officer. Nadhani kesho tutakuwa hapa na maafisa wa county wa health, public health, na nimeambia wananchi kwamba kama unajua wewe ni landlord na uko na septic tank ambayo iko wazi, na kuomba tafadhali uweze kuziba hiyo septic tank.
The family has vowed not to relent until they unravel the puzzle behind Wendy's death.
Indeed, a very tragic story there. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen says the government has heightened multi-agency security coordination framework and the vigilance of maritime surveillance systems in the country. This follows the interception of a stateless vessel with 1,024 kilograms of narcotics with a street value of 8 billion shillings seized 630 kilometers east of Mombasa coast. 6 Iranian nationals aboard the vessel were arrested and will be arraigned in court once preliminary investigations are concluded.
The government is scaling up efforts in the fight against drugs in the country, with Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen now saying the government has heightened multi-agency security coordination and vigilance of maritime surveillance systems.
Kwa sababu ya ukakamavu na ile resolve ya president pamoja na jeshi yetu na polisi wetu, including the Coast Guard, mumeona kwamba tumeshika madawa ya kulevya kutoka high seas ambao Iranians walikuwa wanatembeza huko karibu na maji yetu ya up to 10 billion shillings, worth 10 billion shillings.
This follows the interception of a stateless vessel Saturday in the Indian Ocean with 1,024 kilograms of narcotics with a street value of 8 billion shillings seized. Preliminary forensic tests confirmed the seized substance to be methamphetamine with a purity level of 98%. In a statement to newsrooms, Murkomen says that operation was based on actionable intelligence that led to the interception of a ship identified as MV Eagle. 6 Iranian nationals aboard the vessel were arrested and are said to be arraigned in court once preliminary investigations are concluded.
Na unaona hao wanapelekwa kotini na hivi karibuni utaona tukidestroy those madawa ya kulevya publicly, because we have resolved as a nation that we must fight drugs, we must fight illicit alcohol, we must fight all kind of vices that are destroying the lives of our people. Lazima chief, assistant chief, our OCSs work together to get rid of all these vices that are destroying our young people.
Murkomen further says the government will work in collaboration with other international partners to trace and disrupt the wider criminal networks associated with the seizure.
Now, Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, and Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah have defended the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Amendment Act 2025. The duo have described the contentious act as a necessary moral safeguard to protect families, children, and national security from the dangers of online exploitation, extremism, and cultism. Speaking during a church service at St. Teresa's Isanjiro Catholic Church in Malava, the two leaders dismissed growing criticism that the law infringes on freedom of expression, insisting that it aligns with global standards and empowers authorities to remove harmful digital content, including pornography and extremist material. The father used the occasion to rally the Luya community to unite, urging residents to back a government-aligned candidate in the upcoming Malava by-election.
They have been peddling lies that the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Amendment Bill or Act is there to undermine the rights of Kenyans to communicate or to engage with each other on social media. Far from the truth, the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act of 2025 is designed or was modeled to protect the Kenyan families.
Hii sheria imepitishwa kule Marekani, hii sheria imepitishwa kule Ufaransa, hii sheria imepitishwa kule Australia, Hii sheria imepitishwa kule Uingereza, hii sheria iko katika bunge la Ufaransa inaendelea, hii sheria iko katika kila mahali kuprotect jamii. These children are in very formative stages. Na lazima the commissioner wa protection ya watoto awe na uwezo wa kisheria kuadhibu wale watu wakora.
Well, the Central Management Committee of the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, is expected to convene on Monday, that is today, to chart the party's political future amid growing internal discord and jostling following the death of its leader, Raila Odinga. Having earlier appointed Senator Oburu Odinga as interim party leader, the committee will also evaluate the progress of the 10-point framework agreed upon with the ruling United Democratic Alliance.
With tension mounting over the party's direction in the wake of the death of Raila Odinga, the Central Management Committee is gearing up for its inaugural session under the stewardship of acting party leader Oburu Odinga. The agenda includes 3 key items: the November mini-polls, celebrations to mark its 20th anniversary, and a review of the party's role within the broad-based government. The committee will also assess the implementation status of a 10-point pact signed with UDA. This comes in the wake of internal dissent. The party's Secretary General Edwin Sifuna maintains ODM will field a presidential candidate, while the national chairperson Gladys Wanga asserts that the party is firmly embedded within government under the broad-based arrangement. Ahead of a meeting, a youth faction within ODM, the Movement for the Defense of Democracy, MDD, has thrown its support behind Oburu Odinga to be named the substantive party leader,
so that then they can ratify and adopt the resolutions of the NEC of the party and confirm Dr. Oburu Odinga as the party leader of the Orange Democratic Movement in an official position and capacity now, and not in an acting capacity.
That we are going to walk the journey together. The captain has gone, and we have a new captain who is going to take us to Canaan and to negotiate on our behalf and give us a political direction. As the ODM fraternity,
sisi tunamuunga Mheshimiwa Oburu mkono kama kiongozi wa chama cha chungwa, na pia kusema kwamba kutokea leo yeye ndiye ataongoza vuguvugu hili na tutakuwa chini yake vile baba alikuwa tulikuwa chini ya baba.
We shall work together with Raila left us in a broad-based government arrangement, and we shall continue in that line together with this group.
The group, which paid tribute at Raila's Kango Kajaramogi, is now urging the National Governing Council to convene and formally confirm Oburu's leadership. Meanwhile, the ODM Turkana branch has also declared its support for Oburu's elevation to party leader.
We look forward to supporting him, to working with him, and more so in strengthening the party even more, so that the legacy for Baba remains alive even for many years to come.
Turkana people love Raila. They loved Raila so much, and that love will not stop. We will continue loving Raila and the family.
Controversy continues to deepen over contents of the Religious Organizations Bill 2024, with a section of religious leaders terming the proposed law as punitive. The men of the cloth are warning the bill is a threat to Kenya's constitutional freedom of worship, calling for its withdrawal. Timothy Kipnusu has the details of the proposed law that appears to ike a section of the clergy even before the debate kicks off in Parliament.
Proposals contained in the Religious Organizations Bill and Policy 2024 have elicited mixed reactions. The latest to join in the debate is the Federation of Evangelical and Indigenous Christian Churches in Kenya, who warned the bill is a threat to freedom of worship as enshrined in the Constitution.
Hamwezi kaa chini mtengeneze sheria ambayo inakuja kuharibu uhuru wa kuabudu. Najua kwamba sheria zetu zinaruhusu freedom of worship, na uwezi ukakuja kutuwekea sheria ambayo inakuja kuregulate Mungu ambaye tunatumikia. Yeye ndio mwenye kanisa.
According to Faith CCK chairperson Bishop Samuel Njiriri, The bill, if approved, will lock out indigenous churches.
Ndio tunaomba EAK, NCCK na SUPKEM ambao walikaa chini wanajipendekeza ati wao wenyewe ndio wachaguliwe, kwa hiyo wawe ati ndio watakuwa kwa hiyo commission, ndio wakuje wafunge haya makanisa madogo madogo. Hiyo tumekataa kabisa. Sisi ndio wengi kuliko nyinyi na umbrella ziko nyingi sana.
It is calling on legislators not to pass the bill.
Kuna sheria, existing law, ambao tunasema deal na religious extremism. Kuna watu ambao watu kama hii Shakahola na nini, kuna sheria ambao inaruhusu watu kama hao washikwe, wapelekwe kotini, wafunguliwe mashtaka. Lakini sio kuchukua kanisa tunaiweka katika gunia moja, tunawapiga vita moja. Hiyo kanisa ni la Kristo, tuachane na kanisa. Hii serikali tuliwekwa na kanisa, na tunajua Rais William Ruto hata kubali, vile mimi ninamjua hata kubali hiyo sheria iende ipite.
In the meantime, the Alliance for Change Party has opposed the bill on grounds it risks turning faith into a tool of state control.
Kenya has come too far in political, civic and religious freedom to be pushed towards dictatorship, disguised as progress. Let it be known, we will stand guard over these freedoms, and these two draft documents must be rejected in entirety.
Party leader Amina Guyo Halake says the draft is unconstitutional, calling for its withdrawal.
We, the people of Kenya, will not allow the separation between church and state to be eroded. Not today, not ever. On the Religious Organization Policy 2024, while I acknowledge the state's stated intentions to promote accountability and cohesion, the policy as currently drafted poses a serious constitutional and practical challenges.
The proposed law is the brainchild of the task force on the review of legal and regulatory framework governing religious organizations in Kenya, spearheaded by retired Reverend Mutava Musyimi. Elsewhere, a section of religious leaders have condemned the statement by Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga following the death of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga.
Hili maneno ambao aliongea kuhusu kifo ya Raila ilistua kila mtu, kwa sababu maisha ni ya Mungu, kuishi ni Mungu. So mtu kusema anafurahia mtu akikufa, hiyo ni kitu ambao hatujaisikia. And as a Christian, sababu I believe he is one, ukisema ati mtu unafurahia mtu kukufa, unashangaa kwa sababu unajua kabisa uhai ni wa Mungu.
Thank you so much, Timothy Kipnusu, for that report. We now want to link up with my colleague, that is Wycliffe Okech, who is in Kisumu. He'll be bringing us up to speed with what is happening in as far as the national examinations are concerned, the KBC examination and the junior secondary school examinations, which are kicking off today in the morning, Monday to Wednesday, according to the Ministry of Health. And 2.4 million students are supposed to sit for that examination. And so Wycliffe Okech is supposed to be joining us any time from now, just to bring us up to speed. If you can hear me, Wycliffe, if you're ready for us, just bring us up to speed with what is happening in as far as the national examination preparations are concerned down there in Kisumu.
Well, thank you so much, Mariambo. Back in Nairobi, it is quite a chill morning, but we understand it's it's still an early morning as we speak. That's the reason probably it's chilly. But remember, the Kenya Meteorological Services had talked of sustained rainfall in Kisumu. And for the last quite a number of days, we've seen quite an amount of rainfall in this part of the country. And speaking about the national examination that are kicking off this morning, the KBC KPSEA and the KJSEA. In Kisumu, we can tell that everything seems ready, because where we are now, this is the Deputy County Commissioner's office in Kisumu Central Sub-County, where you can see what is happening in the background. That is the container that was opened exactly 6 in the morning, 6 a.m. That is exercise being led by the Deputy County Commissioner, Bona Langat, who is leading this exercise here. We've seen the people you're seeing in the background. These are center managers that have come here to collect papers. We understand the Kenya Junior Secondary Education Assessment and also the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment center managers that have come here at the DCC's office to collect the papers. Like you mentioned, there is for the KPSEA, there's mathematics and English papers being written today, and also for the KJSEA, there's still the English paper, English language starting, and also that will be followed with the English composition. What we can report is that once the center managers arrive here, they will line up, and the DCC is calling the papers according to the centers. And once that exercise is complete, we expect them to be accompanied by the security officers. If my camera person can basically pan to the left and show you the security officers that are just waiting here to accompany the center managers carrying these papers. There's quite a huge fleet of vehicles belonging to those schools that have come here actually to collect these papers, and that is just point to the proper logistical preparations that have been placed to ensure that these papers that the examinations are completed in the expected way. And also the Ministry of warned of standard action against those that may be out to compromise the integrity of the papers. Remember, CS Ogamba, the Julius Ogamba, that's the CS for Education, had said that this exercise will be guided by fairness, and that is exactly why we see the security officers here that will be able to man the center, this examination, where these examinations will be undertaken. So far, we can see the papers, distribution of the papers still continue, because we understand the papers will be written starting 8 a.m. and that is about an hour from now. And the exercise that is going on here, these are center managers from the Kisumu Central. We haven't seen the county director of education here, but we have spoken to the Kisumu Central, the officer in charge of these examinations for Kisumu Central. She is media shy. She is not very comfortable speaking to us. That is what she says. But especially, there is a candidate, or rather two of them, writing this examination, that will be writing this examination at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital. There is a candidate from Bondo. That Bondo is in Siaya County, and also from Rachuonyo North. Those are two candidates that will be writing these examinations from at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital. We will be able to get there and see their condition, but what you can see is the distribution of these papers still continues. We expect that once this exercise continues, ends, we'll be able to speak with the DCC and tell us other arrangements. But for now, Mary, I hand it back to you in studio.
Thank you so much, Weekly for Cage, there from Kisumu, just bringing us up to speed with what is happening in as far as the examinations are concerned. The Kenya Primary School Education Assessment, KPSEA, and the Kenya Junior School Education Assessment examinations kicking off today in the morning at 8 a.m. with mathematics and English papers starting in the morning. Definitely he'll bring us up to speed also with what will be happening later on in the day. We do wish all the students the very best, even as the education officials there, as you've seen, just trying to ensure that the papers reach the rightful destinations on time. So Weekly for Cage, thank you so much once again for bringing us up to speed. I know you'll be there. And of course, here in Nairobi, we'll also be bringing you up to speed with what will be happening, because our reporters also, or my colleagues, will be on ground to just, bring us details of what will be happening and as far as the national examinations are concerned. My name is Mariambo, and I have nothing much else to say really or to do right now, but to allow my colleague, that is Victor Law, together with his guests, to continue with the Good Morning program. Good morning. We'll see you again.
Nilikuwa nimekosa kosa gani ndio anishike?
Lakini sasa unajua alikuonya mambo ya ulevi.
Sikuwa mlevi.
Daddy, ulikuwa umeenda wapi?
Tulikuwa na mazungumzo na bwana chief.
La mwa minyao.
Ndakure vindu vya mangondo kose kono mino ni ndinyu mwana wevu.
Santa fanya hajaki.
Huyu ni omba.
Iki kimzee kinatafuta nini hapa?
Leo tutaonana mundu kwa mundu.
We! Sitapoteza muda wangu na nguvu kwa mtu mjinga kama wewe.
Umepoteza fahamu. Nitakukumbusha kila kitu nikikuja.
Endo kafanya kazi huko. Huyu kupungwani kila mahali mpungwani tu.
That is very nice. Huh? Delete that thing. Mini influencer. Do you know my wife anajua niko Mombasa? Delete that video. Yes, and again you delete.
Ni nini mbaya baba Karen?
Hiyo maneno ya baba Karen nilikwambia achane nayo.
Ukaona karembo, kasupu. Hii nayo amedanganya wewe.
Hebu nionyeshe zile vitu unajua kufanya. Hii ni mtaalamu ya kupulisa matumbo. Tunapuliza balloon.
Nimekuletea lanji.
Unaniletea mkoka unaniambia ndio mboga. Marada. Kwani hii ni nini?
Nisaidie na tissue.
Ai.
Nasikia kukugonga.
Saa ingine mbona unafanya vitu ambazo hazieleweki?
Good morning, welcome back. It's now 4 minutes past 7 a.m. on this 27th day of October 2025. Welcome to the program. My name is Victor Law. Let's talk about politics and current affairs, what's happening in the country and of course across our borders. We all know that students are starting their national examinations today, and as my colleague Wycliffe has given us an update, it's going to be happening across the country. Quite a number, more than 1 million students are going to be sitting that exam. So we'll be taking a look at that shortly. But I think the most important thing is just to welcome my guests, first of all, in studio. I have got Daktari Daniel Ole Kanchori, who is an advocate of the High Court, as well as a strategic management expert. Daktari, good morning.
Good morning, Victor.
Daktari or Wakili, which one starts?
Majina yote mzuri ni yangu.
But which one do you prefer? Daktari, Wakili? Okay. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
And next to him is Honorable Ken Ngodi, who is the Speaker of the Nairobi County Assembly. We have to behave, because he can rule us out of order.
The Speaker is always right.
The Speaker is always right, so we must behave. Speaker, karibu sana.
Thank you, Bwana Victor.
Karibu sana.
Thank you for the invite.
Asante. As well as Nelson Jiru, who is a governance and financial expert. He's going to tell us more about money. If we go very far away, you bring us back on track.
For sure.
Karibu.
Asante sana.
Gentlemen, thank you for sparing your time. All right, let me take you through the front page of the local dailies very fast. On the front page of the Standard, trapped in Russia. That's what I have on the front page of the Standard newspaper, trapped in Russia. There are 5 gentlemen in question here, and all of them are Kenyans. And the Standard says that Russia's war on Ukraine is now affecting Kenyans directly, with severe consequences, as it emerges that hundreds of the country's youths are actually been trapped and forced to fight on Russia's front line, with dozens killed and many more nursing life-changing injuries in military hospitals. Most of them are now promised well-paying jobs, but were coerced into the army upon arrival. Today, the Standard can release the identities of 5 young men who traveled to Russia between July and August, whose whereabouts are unknown back home, but are said to be on the front line. They are 5 gentlemen. One of them is Orima Jobik Otieno, 24-year-old Kenyan, Ismail Tariq Ahmed, 25-year-old Kenyan, Kariuki Samuel Maina, 31-year-old Kenyan. This is Kuleba David Shikanda, who is a 22-year-old young man. And finally, Wangari Ruben Ndungu, who is a 29-year-old Kenyan. And the Standard is now revealing that they are trapped in Russia fighting in the front line. That is also the front page of the Standard. Let me start with you, Wakili. This is way, not the best way, against our laws. Is it?
Victor, is a sad headline this morning. It shows how the situation of our young people is, the desperation which they are going through, that is forcing them through crooks in the name of agencies, taking them abroad to give them a better future. And it is a wake-up call to the government and the leadership to address this issue, and we will request that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs takes remedial measures to ensure that these young people and many others, not just in the Russia, even in the US who are fighting for foreign countries, are brought back here, and we put our house in order so that our young people can feel home when they are here. Yes.
The youngest one is 22-year-old, and perhaps, Speaker, when they get an opportunity to work abroad, this is just a way to earn a living. And I don't know what do you think the government is thinking about this, with this kind of headline. This is probably unacceptable in some sort of way.
You see now, Victor, for some reason, we need now to realize that there should be guidelines. And I can categorically say that there is already existing laws that normally streamline on how our youths could access job opportunities in the foreign countries. But again, we also need now to understand what is the role of our foreign diplomats in those countries. What are they doing to make sure that the Kenyan citizens are safe in the foreign countries? So we cannot only blame the government at this stage, because you see now, for some reason, these agencies who normally take up these services to transport our citizens outside the country, for some reason we have not audited these firms properly to get to understand what they are doing behind the scenes, which is very dangerous to the country. Yes.
Nelson, the key word is trapped, which means they are there illegally. Or perhaps they went legally, but now a situation has forced them to be where they are.
Yes, Victor. I am looking at this as, number one, the problem that we have in the country in terms of now youths looking at opportunities in different countries as opposed to this country, one or another. But the way you've read it, if you look at it, you'll realize that whatever they are doing there is not what they initially went to do. Okay? Being in the military is not something you just get someone from anywhere. It requires a lot of training. Have they been trained for what they are doing now at the front line? So I think the government really needs to intervene on this, because the next thing, if they're killed, it's a different story in the country when you start repatriating their bodies back here. Okay, the government will be blamed. I think before we get there, it's high time that the government intervenes on that matter. But however, that shows us that the government and we as a nation need to do a lot in terms of empowering the youths so that they don't get into desperate situations like those.
Okay. Very quickly, thank you. On the front page of the Daily Nation, abductions, UN demands answers. That is on the front page of the Daily Nation. The Kenyan government has snubbed 2 letters from United Nations officials raising concerns about police killings, abductions and enforced disappearances, detention and prosecution of government critics following protests in 2024 and this year. By ignoring the communication from Ms. Mary Lawler, the special rapporteur on the situation of the human rights defenders, Kenya's case will be deferred to the Human Rights Council, an organ of the UN General Assembly. That is also the front page of the Daily Nation. I'll get back to that shortly. UN officials also condemns disproportionate use of force by police against protesters to crush dissent. Okay, on the front page, very quickly, students begin exams on senior school placement. All right, that is happening across the country. And of course, finally, Raila party in crisis meeting as Oburu takes charge. Senator James, I beg your pardon, that is Senator Oburu Oginga, who was recently installed as the interim ODM party leader following the death of his brother Raila Odinga, convened a meeting of the party's top decision-making organ today in the face of growing internal fights. And finally, on the front page of the Star, insurers hit hard with fake claims soar. That is insurers hit hard as fake claims soar. In the first quarter of 2025, they rejected 658.9 million shillings in claims. That is 77.6% increase. That is what I have here. And on the front page, as an Arsenal fan, yes, Arsenal fans trooped to Raila's graveside. That is on the front page. I have to show that as an Arsenal fan. Yeah, they went there. And I think there's a creative way they put it. The jersey is written Baba at 80, of course representing the year that the former Prime Minister lived. That is 80 years. They trooped there. And of course, next to it is eyes on Oburu as he chairs ODM's meeting amid divisions. All eyes are on acting ODM party leader, Oburu Oginga, as he chairs crucial meeting of the party's central committee today amid growing disquiet over the outfit's future. Let me start with you, Speaker. Put us in order. I don't know which class you're going to use to put the show in order, Speaker.
The show is already in order.
All right, thank you.
Properly constituted. Yes.
The quorum is there. Let's do this. So the Central Committee is meeting today. Please, perhaps as a member of ODM, is that disquiet in the party?
Definitely, we can't run away from the fact that there is disquietness in the party, because not every member subscribes to the ideologies of the late Raila Odinga, who in his own way and style, no one can match in the circle of the ODM structure of leadership.
Yes.
And even the following. So the question of whether there is disquiet in ODM is something we can't run away from. It is true that people are viewing things differently. This happens because people need to understand who Raila was and what he stood for. Yes, because Raila stood for a cause which he defended both by blood and flesh, and his soul at the same time. So disquietness, automatically it will play out.
How big is it, or how deep is the crack?
As at now, it's not evident enough, and it is not possible to gauge. But already there is a feeling that things should go a certain way.
Yeah.
And there is also a class of members or leadership in ODM who feels otherwise. But we leave it to time. We'll tell.
We leave it to time.
Yes.
Wakili, this is not new. Politics is politics, and ODM is not immune to such, of course. Was it something that was expected? Does this really show that there was a disquiet in the ODM party, even when the late Prime Minister was still alive?
Victor, I want to take this opportunity to pass my condolences to Kenyans and the family of Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga, as his name goes, is an enigma. He's in himself displays controversy. A man of the people, a man who has managed to sustain opposition politics for several decades. And as my former colleague and the honorable speaker here says, ODM will never be the same ODM. If we are going to have ODM, it will be another ODM. Another outfit, but not the ODM that we knew, where Raila Odinga was ODM and ODM was Raila Odinga. And without him, it is not business as usual. And you could see that in his last speech in Manzoni, because even when Raila was still alive, there was a disquiet in ODM. You remember that there was this young tax, the Sifunas, and you could remember it was only Raila who will apply the brakes when you tell him, weka pilipili kidogo, usiende sana. And now we don't have anybody to put those guards anymore. It is free for all. We also have these old thugs who are tired, sorry to say. They just want peace. They want to eat their cake and relax. And we have the young people who wants to make their way and make a name for themselves. Going forward, you've also seen His Excellency the President declaring in Raila's funeral that he's going to take charge of the party.
Wakili, allow me to cut you short.
Yes.
The chair of NEC, Professor Julius Nyabundi, is talking to us in Kisumu ahead of the examination. Perhaps just take that link very fast in 1 minute, then we come back.
It's a benefit for what they have done, even in grade 3, grade 4, coming up, and it will add up even when they come to do the final exam in grade 12. So, as you can see, we have few security officers here today. We are trying to reduce the amount of security presence in examination centers. Over and above that, from what we did last year and which we are continuing, we have put all the, we have enhanced the security in terms of the way we present examinations. Each examination is coming in packed for every school. Each examination paper has the photographs. Each examination paper after the end of the examination is cut off so that what is marked finally is an anonymous document so that the markers are not in any way disadvantaged or biased in how they grade the examinations. I think those are possibly some of the new things, not so new, that we are trying to do here. I think the newest thing here today is that we are doing grade 9 examination for the first time.
The NEC has spoken about protecting the integrity of these papers. What are the new measures probably that we haven't had before?
NEC has always protected the integrity examinations. Or any breach of integrity examinations have been done outside NEC. Now we have been trying to manage some of these things which are done outside NEC. And you are aware that last year, for example, for KCSE, we introduced picking the examination twice. So that we were picking what is done in the afternoon is picked in the afternoon. What is done in the morning is picked in the morning. That was an important measure because so that we limit the time for pre-examination exposure. That is pre-exposure of the papers before the exam time. Otherwise, at NEC, we are always committed to and do everything to ensure the integrity examinations at that level. And I'm glad to say that up to today, there has been nobody who has come to us that with any leakage. So up to today, there has been no leakage at all in these examinations. And that is the way that we must continue.
Still staying on the integrity of the papers, what instructions do the center managers have in terms of who gets into the exam centers in the course of these papers? Are the learners writing their exams?
There's nothing new. The exam is not for a school. The exam is an exam center. The school is an exam center. Therefore, we have the invigilators, we have the supervisors, and we have the center manager. Everybody else is supposed to be out of the school. Everybody else, all the teachers and everybody else, the deputies sometimes can come in for the center managers, but otherwise everybody else should go to the school.
Lastly, from my end, you've spoken about limiting the number of security officers in the exam centers. Once the center managers collect these papers, how many officers are they accompanied with?
Well, in principle, there are no security officers in the exam centers, in principle. But as I said, the policemen or the security officers have the responsibility to provide security in the region, including the schools, all the time. So as we live here, they will accompany the buses, and after that, in most cases, there will be no need for any policemen in the exam centers. KNEC always put measures to ensure that examinations reach the centers. We always do that. Where there is need to use helicopters, we use helicopters. Where there need to use boats, we use boats. So examinations will reach the examination centers in circumstances emerging, notwithstanding. But happily, this time around, up to now, we don't have very many challenges.
Maybe the last one. Up to now, are there some special cases that maybe you've registered?
Special cases meaning?
Maybe the disadvantage, not only disadvantage, but maybe the students sitting exams in...
well, those are part of the society.
Great. That is Professor Julius Omondi Nyabundi, who is the chair of NEC, just giving an update on what's happening. 2.4 million students are sitting the examination. That is KAPSE and KJSEA starting this morning. Security of examination, he said, that has been taken care of, as well as examination papers have photographs to have the authenticity. That's a security measures that is put in place by NEC. And of course, the grade 9 students, that is going to be the special sitting this morning. The grade 9 pupils will be starting their first examination for that system. And he's also reiterated that to this morning, there is no leakage of examination that has been experienced. So we wish all the students sitting examination, 2.4 million of them, all the best in the national examination. Let's come back to the studio and continue with that discussion. Wakili, you're talking. I'll come back to you. You said that ODM is not special to all the wrangles that we are witnessing.
Victor, I also want to interrupt you and wish our young boys and girls success in their exam. And mostly my son is sitting for grade 9 exam today.
Oh, okay.
KC Kanchori at Lukenya High School Academy. So I want to wish them all the best.
And of course all the students
and
there.
all the students.
Great.
Coming to your question, as I said, Raila is ODM and ODM is Raila. And it's not going to be business as usual. I really sympathize with the old man, elder brother of Raila, Oburu Odinga. He has a big task to steady the ship, and there will be a lot of infiltration from the government into ODM. As if we go by the president's statement at the funeral of Raila Odinga, where he said that he's not going to allow a few people to take ODM to opposition. That already tells you that President Ruto is having a say in ODM, and that is going to be a lot of ups and downs, to and fro. So let's watch the drama unfolding very soon. Yes.
Let's watch the drama unfolding. I mean, Nelson, again, this is happening at a time when the dust has not settled. But we are all here talking about the wrangles and, of course, the Oburu is chairing that first meeting. It seems that Raila's name is not leaving the stage anytime soon.
No, not anytime soon. You're not going to have his name leaving the stage. But basically what you are seeing is some attempt and desperation of the leaders trying to take over the ODM party. But at this point, let me just say clearly that I think the old people in the ODM party should not be afraid of the young leadership that is coming up. This country is ripe for the next level. And so it is important that the people who can push it to the next level and push ODM to the next level be given these opportunities to lead. Okay, I've had Wakili mention Sifuna. These are people that are able to run the parties. It is good that at the moment it's with the elder brother, Mr. Oburu, the senator. It is good. I know, I am very positive that he's going to stabilize the party. But after that, I think it should be handed over to the people who will take it to the next level. And these are the young guys. Let them be given the opportunity to run that party. And I assure you, where Raila will be, he'll be a very happy man. Very happy man.
Given to the young Turks?
Yes.
Speaker, same opinion? To steer the party?
You see, Victor, for some reason, what I stand for is people to understand who Raila Odinga was.
Tell us.
Because getting to walk alongside Raila ideology and what he stood for, Victor, I've not seen the caliber of leadership we have around today who can match his charisma and again to sustain the friendship of one Raila Amolo Odinga. Is something which was very complex because carrying the ideologies he stood for was something else. You see now, Raila being a movement, he had a way of approaching issues. And if I may say, he was very unique and very tactical at every stage on the moves he made. So as at now, when my brother speaks and talks of the young Turks, it's good because they are fresh brain and they bring in energy and synergy in the party. But on difficult circumstances, it is not possible to sustain the young brains in the picture. It is not easy. ODM in itself is a very big party and a big movement with people across the country.
Yes.
But now on the management of the administration of the party to steer the party towards a common cause and goal is also a different thing altogether. One, because the leadership we have today are self-centered and also they are there to serve their own personal interest before putting the country first. So that already conflicts the whole thing. Yes.
I'll come back to ask this question. What was Raila's ideology? Because you spent a lot of time with him in one way or another. But what was his ideology when it came to ODM? A majority of people would say that he was so hard to predict. It was so hard to predict his next move. And that you can also testify that he kept his cards so close to his heart. And that's what makes a good politician, I suppose, right? So let's take a break and we come back. We are still going to circle back and understand what that meeting is going to be all about. But what has it that perhaps Oburu Odinga is going to be given that mantle to hold the party firmly moving forward. So let's take a break. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Kila mwisho wa juma hapa katika runinga yako ya KBC Channel 1 tunakuletea Mkulima.
Mkulima ni kipindi cha kila mtu. Mkulima mdogo, mkubwa, mnunuzi, muuzaji na pia anayenuia kuanza kilimo.
Kuanzia kwa mbinu bora na za kisasa za kilimo, ufugaji,
kukupa fursa za biashara, kuongeza thamana hadi teknolojia zinazorahisisha kilimo.
Mkulima Kisasa inakupa wewe maarifa, motisha na suluhu za kukuza mazao,
kuongeza kipato na pia kulisha taifa kwa jumla.
Tunafeed nchi, tunafeed watoto wetu na tunafeed Europa na tunaweka pesa mfukoni.
Tazama Mkulima kila Jumamosi saa 10:30
kwenye runinga ya taifa.
Mkulima, tuko hapa kwa ajili yako,
ambapo fursa na kilimo zinapatana.
And welcome back. Let's continue the program. Now, the ODM we're having is going to have the Central Management Committee meeting convened today by the interim chair, that is Dr. Senator Oburu Ginga, this morning. And we are just having that moment. But then the question I wanted to ask, Nelson, you say you have a right of reply?
Yes. The Speaker says he seems not to believe so much that in times of turbulence, that the young leaders can handle a party. But I'll go back to what Wakili said, that the ODM party is about to be infiltrated. And he actually mentioned the president. He has shown like he's got an interest in it. We know for sure that it's the youthful leaders in that party, ODM, that are standing against that. So these are the people who can protect that particular party. They've been very vocal about it. So these are the people who know the principles of that particular party, and these are the people who can protect it. And it is only through that kind of direction that this particular party will live very many more years. So I believe that if the youthful leaders are given these opportunities to lead these parties, because they know what the parties stand for, okay? It does not mean that because you are young, probably will not be able to handle turbulence in a party or something. Their leaders, the secretary generals and all of that, they are able to handle this. And the most important thing is put the interest of the party before everything else. And that has been very clearly demonstrated by a very young leader who happens to be the Secretary General of that particular party. So yes, it's very possible from where I sit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Speaker, is it going to be a smooth sailing for any other person in the party? Because the party has got structures, so to say. So we have got dissenting voices, we have got different voices in the party. But is it going to be smooth sailing even for the rebels within the party or people who are trying to infiltrate the party? Whichever way you look at it, politics is at play. But is it going to be smooth sailing?
You see, now politics is not like going to the church. And politics has got different dynamics because of the interest and what plays out. But the beauty is ODM being a party with the wealth of experience in managing its affairs, I don't think whether they are going to find it rough, because the structure is already in place. The constitution and guiding principles are already put in place. So it is only at the best interest of individuals who are steering the party to get to implement what is required of the party structure. Yes.
What was Raila's thought as he led the party? What was his guiding principle?
You see now, above everything, ODM was to capture power. But at the same time...
In 2027?
At
last
whatever
elections?
level.
Okay.
At whatever level. But you see now, Raila offered himself as a servant leader. And at that point, you have seen Raila retreat whenever there was chaos in the country. He could not agree to take the country to a situation where it was ungovernable. So for that reason, even at the point when he felt he had won an election, he could still offer himself for negotiation to have the peace restored in the country, which was his #1 agenda. But we must also get to know that Raila stood for good governance, and he was championing for the human rights and equality. So all these informed his style and way of leadership and getting to resolve around conflicts. Yes.
Okay, I mean, let's now broaden it. You say that ODM was Baba and Baba was ODM. Okay, let's now throw it outside there. How different is Kenyan politics going to be? Or how is it different right now as you speak?
Number one, you know, the ODM ideology, you had asked my colleague here, Honorable Speaker, what is the ODM ideology? The ODM ideology has always been to help Baba up there to capture power. Now that Baba is not there, you will realize that we will now have a lot of political orphans. Because the more you likely to help Baba up there, then the more ODM you are. Now that Baba is not there, the project Baba is not there. So many people are going to face a backlash from the electorate, and there will be a lot of betrayal inside ODM. To answer your question, the ideologies of...
you talked about betrayal. Expand on that kindly.
On the electorate, because now you will now face Mondo Komondo, the people you are going to face, the people Mondo Komondo. There is now no Raila to try to help for you to endear yourself with the electorate. And you remember that if you are seen closer to Raila or next to his court, or he holds your hands, then you are guaranteed an ODM ticket. Now that is not there, that privilege is no longer there. Everybody has to go. There is now an equal playground in ODM where everybody has to face the mwananchi on the ground. And you know, many people, there are people who have been getting elected in ODM all that time without campaigning on the ground, seriously campaigning. Now that Baba is not there to hold your hand, to enjoy that closer, to be closer to him, now you have to go to the mwananchi.
But we can all argue that this is not something so special to ODM.
I'm saying now specifically, and to many other parties.
Yes.
Now to,
but in Kenya, parties or elections are always surrounded or capsuled around personalities, not parties.
You know, our politics are both regional and at some point tribal. Because you can remember that ODM used to dominate a certain region. The coastal region, the Nyanza region. It is, facts speak for themselves. And if you did not get a ticket of ODM in a certain region, you as good as you've lost that election. And if you get that ticket, is as good as they're just waiting to swear you in. So that advantage and privilege is no longer there because Raila is not there. And you know ODM was Raila and Raila was ODM. Now that Raila is not there, many people now will be forced to go to the ground physically and face the wananchis. So there is celebration and there is also sadness. The fact that Raila is no longer there, because there are people who feel like now we have freedom now to choose, to decide our candidates without being meddled by the people up there. And there are those who have been enjoying that privilege. They are sad because now they have to make inroads and get a new roads to follow. To answer your question, without Raila, they will be now going back to the drawing board from the broad-based government. The opposition now will want to come strongly to fill the united opposition to fill that gap of Raila, though you know he had already left the opposition and gone to government. And the government now will try to consolidate its support through ODM, and as I said, His Excellency the President now, I don't know if we are going to have a merger. There will be mixed signals. People who wants to stay in the broad-based government, people who wants to make ODM remain independent as a party. So there will be that back and forth as we go towards the next general election. Yes.
Speaker, again, just coming back to you, allow me to do that. The politics of personality, that, and I will still have to come back because we still have got some personalities in this country who are still actively involved in politics, that if you're not aligned to them, it doesn't even matter the party. You have to invoke someone's name and you're good to go. But how is it going to be different, Speaker, in the party or generally in Kenya politics?
You see now, let me give you a good example.
Go ahead.
With our governor for Siaya, Orengo. If you are keen enough to understand Orengo, Orengo is a politician. But again, Orengo is different in a way of championing for making sure that you follow the constitution. At every stage, Orengo has always stood out to talk about the constitution. But we have leaders who acquire power for their own personal gains altogether. So when we talk of leadership hierarchy, and now that again gives me an opportunity to revisit what my brother actually was concerned of on the leadership of the young people of this nation. Already Sifuna is the Secretary General of ODM.
Yeah.
So by that alone, he serves at the apex of the structure of the party. It is, or it should not be seen that if you hold the position of the party leader, that is the only level where you can be comfortable to serve the party. So being a Secretary General who happens to be the custodian of the books and records, Sifuna stands a very good chance to transform the party and to make sure that the party ideologies and manifesto are implemented.
Is it crossroads?
Not necessarily at this point, but there are different views and way of approach. There are those people who think that we are supposed to remain in the government beyond 2027, but there are those of us who also think that we need to form government as a party. Yes.
Okay. That also brings me the question of, Nelson, you talked about the young Turks. Then now, when you look at the way Raila Odinga used to have his party and the house in order, he gave people, that space. The way Wakili said that at some point he would tell Sifuna, poa kidogo, it was a democratic space. And that one gave the young brains in the party, young quote unquote, to express themselves democratically speaking. But then now, running the party is something, it's a huge thing. I mean, we all understand how running ODM is not a walk in the park for the party, for the democratic space that you're enjoying today.
True. That is very true. If I may say, the late Honorable Raila Odinga is a man who gave an opportunity to the youth. He's a man who mentored. He has mentored so many people, including the young people.
Including the speaker.
Including the speaker,
Yes.
yeah, as he's saying. Yes, he has mentored so many people. And you see, when you mentor someone, you don't mentor them just to a certain level. You give them the opportunity to, you know, the sky is the limit. Let them get to where they can get because they have the proper mentorship and they've been given the opportunity. Okay? So, yes, he gave, in the party, he gave the opportunity to the young people. And when it comes to the leadership of the party, see the good thing about ODM and the other big parties, the ones that have proper structure. ODM has a very proper structure in terms of leadership. So if only, no matter the leader who will be given the opportunity to lead this particular party, be it a young person or be it an elderly person in one or another, as long as the structure and the principles of the party are followed, you'll not have a problem. But you see, already you're having a problem because you cannot call someone from another team to come and become your captain. And you're already seeing some leaders in the ODM doing that, calling somebody from another team. You are an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
You want to call somebody from Manchester United to come and
pick
run
another team, not Manchester United.
Manchester United happens to be my team.
I see.
So I'll put that one on you. So you see, I believe it's very possible as long as the principles of the party are not violated and the structures of the party are in place. Yes.
Again, but then, coming to look at it, the different conflicts that we are seeing, it is quite healthy, Wakili. In politics, quite healthy. And I think that's where you flourish best, when there are conflicts and all that. It makes your game to be more interesting. I asked the Speaker what Raila Odinga stood for, and what ODM stands for, and what leaders actually stand for. These are three different things. But can they be brought together to be aligned?
First and foremost, you saw when Kahiga Mutai, the governor for Nyeri, issued a reckless statement about the demise of the late Raila Amolo Odinga and how the ODM party handled that. You saw a press conference led by Governor Wanga. You saw a statement by Secretary General Sifuna, a different statement. You saw another statement from the acting party leader, Oburu Odinga. And everybody was asking, how will Raila handle that issue? So you can see that going forward, the tradition of Raila Odinga is going to influence. For ODM to stay put, must follow into the steps of Raila Odinga. They must not try to personalize the party, but if they are going to follow the ideology of Raila, because Raila was a Democrat, and he will allow free space. Raila will compete in an election, and the next time he's shaking the hand of his competitor. He will tell the people that whatever Sifuna is saying is the party position, lakini punguza pilipili kidogo. So he was a moderate person. He will know how to, he was, as I said, the speaker. And now the speaker is not there. So, and you know, when the speaker is not there, there will be a lot of commotions, which is healthy in a democracy. I just want to say that how ODM is going to handle this mixed signal and the absence of Raila will determine whether we are going to have ODM or is going to die like the Ford Kenya when the late Jaramogi Odinga died and how it is split. So it is actually a reckoning moment for this party. And as he says, when you have some people who have their plate full saying that we are in the broad base, we want to go beyond the election, others are saying, no, we are going to retain our party. That mixed signal, and what the Mwananchi will say, because going forward, the electorate are going to have a big say. Because, you know, when things used to get tough, before Raila will make an important decision, he will go to either Kamkunji, You will go to Uhuru Park, or you will have consultation meetings around Kenya. Whether you will agree with what they are going to say, but the perception that the people have a say in whatever is going to do will actually be, I think, a Kenya for the current ODM leadership to ensure that before they do anything, and I think Baba's will was, before you commit a party, we must talk and consult. That is actually an advice that I can give my former party, ODM.
Yeah.
You know, I once vied in an ODM. I was the legal advisor for the Youth League in ODM. So if they are going to survive, they must follow that Mwakenya of Raila.
Yeah,
yes.
That Mwakenya of Raila Odinga. But Speaker, do you have that Mwakenya? All of you as members of ODM, did you get that textbook right?
Not really.
Not really. That's a clear confession.
Yeah, because you see now,
he was running too fast ahead of the pack.
It is not even about ODM.
Yeah.
Understanding Mwakenya and at what extent you feel you are a Kenyan. If I may ride on his concern by the reckless statement by the governor of Nyeri, being a bit concerned that development is drifting towards a certain region, which should not be the case with the central or Mount Kenya. But this is someone who is forgetting that we have got Kenya as a country for all of us. It doesn't matter which part of region you settle as a person, because people migrate. You can come from Kisii and settle in Western or even in Coast, any region in Kenya. But again, this is evident enough that even the Raila he is talking of, the late Raila, in his family, Junior is married to a Kikuyu lady. This is a lady who needs services in the part of Nyanza, away from her home in Mount Kenya. So it doesn't make sense when you reason like Kaiga. And it is quite unfortunate he's sitting in a position where he can influence decision. It is quite unfortunate. But on your question, whether we subscribe to the party on 3 issues you have mentioned about Raila, the people who are the party members, and again the leadership. These 3 things can only be informed out of the party manifesto. That if we agree to walk the journey of making sure that ODM succeeds, then all we need is to revisit our party constitution and the party ideology, which I stand for, me personally. That is the only way at least we can sustain stability and peace and order in ODM. Otherwise, conflict of interest will always play along in politics.
I don't know what to think. What do you think should be Oburu Oginga's first call agenda? Well, we are not privy. Let's just make hypothesis of what the minutes are for that meeting.
I've seen it, the first ODM meeting. And you have actually mentioned it's a NEC meeting, National
Central Committee.
Central Committee.
Yes.
National Central Committee has its structure well placed in the party constitution. So there is nothing unusual Oburu is going to do, but only to bring up to speed the fact that now the JACOM is not in the picture. How do we move going forward? How do you embrace now the new entry of Oburu Odinga as the acting party leader? And for how long are we going to maintain him in that position? And this is now the right time to get to interrogate whether Oburu Odinga can sustain that position for how long? Yes, whether he has the capacity and the ability to steer the party towards the common direction Raila would want it to go. So there is a lot of things which are going to play out.
Okay.
Yes.
I just have to leave it at that. We'll wait to get to here. But when you look at everything, Nelson, when you hear Otienda Molo, a member of parliament, saying that Raila Odinga did not give any roadmap beyond 2027, that is one of the things that also played out during the funeral. Either to stay in the party or to run until 2027 and then we try to negotiate. That's where the split is coming from.
Yes.
Yes.
For sure, he might have not given a clear direction. But the way we knew His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, he's a man who you could not predict what his next step is. And this is where wisdom comes in. You know, wisdom is something you pray and get it from God. It's not something that you inherit. Okay? So it's very important that as even the ODM meeting is going to take place, that they sit and try to analyze what is the purpose of the party. What is the life of the party after Raila now? Are they going to stop? Because Wakili has said the purpose of the party was to ensure that Raila Amolo Odinga becomes the president. So does that die because Raila is not there? Do they now come together and decide we're still going to push this agenda and ensure that one day the ODM party clinches the top seat on the land? So I think as much as probably it was not stated clearly by the party leader, and it's definitely because he was a man who loved peace. He's a man who at every point when he saw need to bring back the country to order, he would sacrifice his ambitions, okay, of even becoming the president. So I think there's life in ODM even after 2027, but it depends with what they discuss and what they agree, and that starts today. The information that we shall get after today will tell us if ODM has a life after 2027 as a party, or it is going to be in the broad-based after 2027.
Yeah, that brings another good aspect. That brings another life is going to be born from today.
Yes.
Based on what they're going to decide.
Correct.
But still, the difference of politics, the atmosphere, how it's going to be, we all know that in politics, Raila Odinga was one big giant, that you just have to call his name in one way or another, and either you're good to go or you're not good to go, whichever way you looked at it in political angle. But Wakili, you once belonged to the party. You're still a member?
Still.
By association or by proxy?
I once was a member, no, not anymore.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. Now, when you look at the whole spectrum, the kind of politics that is going to be played towards 2027, Raila's name is going to be, in a certain way, it's going to be appearing somewhere. This is what Raila Odinga stood for. This is what Raila Odinga stood for, as you call the name of ODM party. But it's going perhaps to be a different Raila Odinga's name being called in the political platforms for ODM, posthumously. Is it going to change the trajectory that the politics is going to take?
Thank you, Victor. Without Raila Odinga, as I said, it's not just the ODM party that is going to face the quagmire, but also this will also spread to other political parties, because going forward, it is now any political party that will not be based on the Mwananchi will have it very rough, very rough. The kind of politics where a few people decide up there has gone with Raila. When Raila went, that was the end of that kind of politics. And going forward, you'll have, as my brother here, Nelson, is saying, the young tax wanting to be felt, to be heard, the Gen Z spirit, you saw, where they want to not just to be seen, but also to be heard. That is going to play in so many political parties. And how the political parties are going to balance that, whether they're in government or not, it will move away from individuals to ideas, to the agendas, rather than to an individual, where you don't have to be closer to so and so for you to be endeared to the mwananchi. It will be about service delivery. And I can tell you from my testimony, because I am currently fighting for the senatorial seat of Kajiado County.
Just hold that.
When you go there...
Just hold that. The guillotine has fell on you again for a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Menstruation is a natural and biological process. Yet for so many women around the world, it is still covered in silence, shame, and stigma.
Our main educators are mothers. So once we start removing the stigma right from a young age, the girls, and they learn that this is normal, they will continue that with their children, their children's children, and the stigma will disappear.
Traditionally, cycle had a meaning. It had a very spiritual meaning. Yes. It had a physical meaning. It was a start of a new thing, a new moon, a new cycle. So it was so informative.
So it is not just about whether you're in pain. It is also about how am I mentally when I'm there and having my cycle.
It's usually how you're supposed to cover it instead how you're supposed to celebrate it. Me kwanza, I'm encouraging mothers, when your girl gets menstrual, go get an ice cream, celebrate it like it's a trophy. It's power for women.
That is very nice. Delete that thing. Mini influencer. Do you know my wife anajua niko Mombasa? Delete that video. Yes, and again you delete.
Ni nini mbaya baba Karen?
Hiyo maneno ya baba Karen nilikwambia achane nayo.
Ukaona karembo, kasupu. Hii nayo umedanganya wewe.
Hebu nionyeshe zile vitu unajua kufanya. Hii ni mtaalamu ya kupulisa matumbo. Tunapuliza balloon.
Nimekuletea lunch.
Uniletea mboga, unaniambia ndio mboga. Marada. Kwani hii ni nini?
Nisaidie na tissue.
Ai.
Nasikia kukugonga.
Saa ingine mbona unafanya vitu ambazo hazieleweki?
Welcome back. Wakili, another apology. The guillotine fell on you for the second time. You said you're going to run for senatorial seat in Kajiado.
Yes, I'm an aspirant.
Make that declaration on national television.
I am an aspirant for the senatorial seat in Kajiado County, come 2027. The first advocate and doctor, and I'm the youngest representing the Gen Z spirit, come 2027. And I can tell you, the spirit on the ground is about the agenda, is about the ideology, is about what you are going to do to alleviate the suffering of the people, how they are going to get a road, how they are going to get water. It has nothing to do with who you are associating with or a lineup, a certain lineup. So that has really changed, and that is going to make the political parties to go back to the drawing board, because previously, if you are associated with a certain individual or you come with this political party, you are literally assured of a seat. But now that has changed, and actually with the going of Raila, it has actually been stamped and confirmed that that era is gone.
You will tell us which party you are going to run on. Just hold that. And whether you subscribe fully to that party or to the person behind the party. We have got ideologies, Speaker. The party stands for a particular thing. ODM stands for a couple of things, of course. But when you look at it, how are they going to get that one big giant to throw stones at come 2027? Should ODM decide to run for presidency amongst other parties?
You see now, that question is untimely, because we are trying to cast a aspersion on ODM and what awaits them ahead of 2027 or after 2027.
Yeah.
But what I can say is ODM is normally awake and prepared. Under all circumstances, with the structure, ODM is ready to go. At any given point, if it comes to fielding a candidate, we are not short of leaders to steer the party at the party leader position.
Yeah.
And we have several options, and we have several leaders to steer ODM as a party. Be it a presidential candidate, there are several.
I see the way you've gone through that question.
Like a speaker.
I've seen the way, because I was trying to listen to him to get me what I wanted to hear, and he completely ran away from me.
I've not.
That is okay.
Because he wanted me to answer you in a certain direction, which I'm not taking. As an ODM party and ODM member,
yes,
of the party, and how I understand ODM, Raila out of the place now, and or the Raila out of the picture now, the party is still vibrant. We will deal with these different views and way of approach to issues. Yes.
Okay.
Whenever they escalate, we will make sure that we bring sanity in the party.
Great. You try to answer it the way.
Because we sit in the leadership position.
Right.
You see now, being a speaker of the biggest party and even the second largest assembly in Kenya, also has a place of leadership and decision making on issues. So we can't wish away Nairobi leadership in making sure that ODM is structured in a manner that it captures power.
Yeah.
That is our goal. Yes.
Okay.
And even if we get to a stage of understanding on how and which party to partner with, we will come on the table as equal partners.
Okay.
Yes.
But let me ask you this question before I come to you, Nelson. What are Kenyans used to? Politics of personality or politics of ideology?
Politics of personality. The bigger picture or the larger masses is politics of personality. Yes.
So how are we going to feed, or how is politics going to be fed? Kenya is going to be fed on a new system of politics, the politics of ideologies.
It is Kenyans to decide on how they are to be governed. You saw this in 2024 when Gen Zs came out and said no. Yeah. And actually they succeeded in shaping the leadership of this country. It can't be business as usual.
It can't be business as usual.
They achieved a lot. They achieved a lot, I can tell you. Even the reasoning of leaders, even the lifestyle of leaders, political leaders, really changed drastically.
Yes. What's in your mind? That's a question I want you to ask, to answer. What is your mind now that Raila Odinga is not in the picture? What are you thinking as a politician, as a senior citizen of this country, as a leader? What's on your mind when it comes to leadership of Kenya as a speaker?
What is in my mind is that as a nation, we only need to pray that we get a good leader at the apex of the leadership of this country. Someone who can have at the best of interest of Kenya at heart. That is my prayers. And as having our President William Ruto as the President of the Republic of Kenya, what we expect of him as the President, the sitting President now, is to make sure that he walks the talk of the constitutionalism. That is all expected of him. Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. So Nelson, here we are. ODM is Kenya politics has changed completely. Yes. In your own perspective, how is it going to be?
I agree with them. It's now about ideas, and not just idea or ideas, how you're going to implement them. Very, very important. We've had people coming with very beautiful manifestos. They come and tell everybody what they intend to do, but that does not take place. The politics of individualism, where you have to attach yourself to someone and all that, as the advocate says, it's gone. It's about what you have to do for the people. People are now hungry in terms of services. And this is why I was telling you the other day that I am going to vie for the Nairobi gubernatorial seat, because I have the ideas. I have the ideas. I know what it takes. I know what it takes to take the Nairobi county to the next level. And you see, like for example...
How many wards do we have in Nairobi?
85.
85?
Yes.
Under which party are you going to vie?
I'll get to you on that. In terms of the party. In terms of the party.
Nairobi is tough. Are you ready for the battle?
Oh, yes. You see, I was just told you...
How are you going to make my interest taken care of? I'm a resident of Nairobi.
Awesome. I'll tell you something. The problem you have in Nairobi is implementation.
No, my problem.
Your problem.
Yes.
Which is?
Are you going to solve my problems as a Nairobi resident?
Depending on which particular problem you're talking about. Yes. But I will come up with a manifesto and tell you the practicability of it. At the moment, everybody is talking about how dirty Nairobi is. I have solutions to that. If we had time, I'll take you through. Okay? How to work on the waste of Nairobi. But basically, the management of Nairobi is poor at the moment. You just need somebody of goodwill, as they're saying. Somebody who has the heart of the country and county at heart. Okay, to implement and deliver services, because you've been allocated resources. You've been given the power to do this. Why are you not doing it? People have faith in you. People have voted you in. It's possible for these things to happen. So I'm counting on your vote for me to take care of your problems in Nairobi.
You just asked for my vote live on air.
Yeah, you want me to sort your problem, so I will do that.
It's fine. I'll see about that when it comes to 2027. Wakili, you said that Kajiado is looking for your services, or you're looking for their services. Who is doing who?
Kajiado is earning for my services. And you know, as a senator, there are basically three main roles. That is to ensure that the government of the day, and I'm not just going to be a senator of Kajiado, but a senator of Kenya, because you know, a senator also oversights the national government. So the most challenging issues that we have is just basic having our systems to work, so that when you go to a government office, the issue of personality, you don't care who is there, which tribe is serving there, you just get your services, whatever you want. The other thing is to have implementation, as my brother is saying. We have budgets every year, billions and billions of shillings. But when you go to Anjiko, to Mama Mboga there, we need to translate those budgets into services, into healthcare, into education, into clean environment. And as you know, as an advocate, one task of a senator is to legislate. So I'm going to ensure that we have sound legislation which are in tandem with the needs. Laws are supposed to sort problems, not to add problems to the people of this country.
Yeah.
You saw the computer misuse and cybercrime law that was passed the other day. And our constitution is sufficient. We just need to implement our constitution. We don't need more laws. And that's what I'm going to ensure as a senator of Kajiado. And to answer your question on which party, I'm a member of the United Opposition. And I'm going to vie under the DCP party in Kajiado. Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually the coordinator, the county coordinator for the DCP party.
Kajiado.
Yes.
Great. You got some good reception in Bondo yesterday, your party leader.
Yeah. And this week on Friday and Monday, we'll have a delegation of Ma people going to our dear Mama Odinga to say pole to her. And she's going to expect some wonderful bulls from the land of Ma.
The land of Ma.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
I was there on Friday to pay my homage. When the news broke, I was here, so I couldn't. It was a heavy one, breaking the news. So I couldn't manage, but I managed to pay my last respect on Friday. It's still a busy place, so yeah, good to see that the MAP people are honoring Raila Odinga. So Speaker, give us the way forward. Before we close the studio, the chambers officially, coming to an end of the show, what is the way forward as we head towards, all right, the first meeting is going to be held this morning, so what should you expect generally, not just from the Central Committee, what should you expect going forward?
The way forward, Victor, we should, as a country, we need to approach the issue of governance holistically. This should not be left to the ODM as a fraternity or as a party alone. Because we have several political parties in the country. But now we expect each and every political party to bring in a basket with them. At least at the national table, in order for us to steer this country towards prosperity.
Yeah.
So, if we leave the focus to the ODM only as a vehicle to realize the Kenya we would want, then now as a nation we will fall short.
All right.
Yeah, it is not at the best interest of the country. We must pull together as a team. We bring all the DCP and the UDA, ODM, and these are the political parties, because they have got membership with different or divergent views and way of approach to issues affecting the nation.
Great.
Yes. So
thank you.
To me, that is the best we can do for our nation.
Thank you so much. Okay, and I wish you all the best. Nelson Jiro, thank you so much. I mean, go for it. It's a dream.
Sure.
It was never on a silver plate. Go fight for it. Yeah, if you get it, serve Kenyans and serve Kenyans generally. It doesn't matter where you come from. Speaker, thank you so much for coming to the show. I've been looking for him for a very long time.
Thank you for the honor.
Yeah. Asante sana.
Yeah.
Thank you, and continue doing
Victor,
good work.
maybe my last parting shot is to say that with the demise of Raila, when something dies, another thing is born. So we are going to ensure that the ideologies of fighting for justice, democracy, and equity that Raila stood for are going to continue. So whether ODM is going to be there or not, the ideologies of Raila has already been inculcated in so many of us and many Kenyans. And now we have that spirit of Raila in many of us. It's going to go. So we want to give this country hope and Kenya that it is well. It is well.
Asante sana.
Yes.
The gentleman talking is Dr. Daniel Olekanchori, who is an advocate of the High Court, the strategic management expert. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming to the show. Just a quick wrap that KCAPSEA and KJSCA examination starts this morning. 2.4 million Kenyans, students doing that examination center. Earlier on, we had a conversation with Professor Julius Kambundi, who is the NIC chair, and said that everything is taken care of. Asante sana for your time, three gentlemen. All right, let's cross over to Mombasa. Hashim is holding fort there. The program there is a conference, the Uganda-Kenya Coast Tourism Conference, which is an exhibition as well, running for 2 days in that's Ocean Beach Resort and Spa in Malindi. And Hashim is hosting that. Hashim, perhaps you can just give us a rundown of what's happening there. We are headed towards the peak season of tourism, but Uganda and Kenya coming together, that is something quite good for the region. Hashim?
Well, thank you so much, and good morning to Victor and our viewers. Indeed, this is a remarkable day for Kenya and Uganda. Remember, this is a conference that has been happening for the last 3 years or so. The journey started in Mombasa, went to Diani, then to Kampala, and now it is back here in Malindi, of course, to spur growth in the tourism sector between the two nations. Remember, the bond between the two nations has been exacerbated further by the trade partnerships and the memorandums of understanding that was signed between President Yoweri Museveni himself and our very own president, that is Dr. William Ruto, during the state visit of the head of state from Uganda. Remember, this is a conference that has been happening over the years just to foster the relations not only between the two nations and celebrate what the two nations can offer in that particular sector. And you do remember 3 weeks ago, we had the pleasure of hosting the ambassador of Uganda here, the Consul General in Mombasa, that is Mr. Paul Mukumbia, who told us that the back and forth between the tourist numbers, especially for the last 3 years, has been exponentially increasing, especially with over 400 Kenyans visiting Uganda on a daily basis, with over 200 Ugandans also coming to visit Kenya. Of course, Uganda has the pleasure of offering so many things, including the gorillas, the chimpanzees, which mostly Kenya we do not have. And what Kenya can offer Uganda and other local tourists from the East African nation is the beautiful and sand beaches, not only here in Malindi, Kilifi, Diani, in Mombasa as well. That is what we can offer. Once again, I want to speak to the ambassador. Let me invite him here. Ambassador, if you can join us, and thank you for making time for us on KBC Channel 1. When we last spoke, Ambassador, the conference was yet to happen. Today it is here. What do we expect?
Thank you very much, and thank you for hosting me once again. Your introduction has really said it all. But I want to once again touch on the theme for today's conference, which is about youth, technology, and innovation. So really, we are going to focus on how young people who are key players in the tourism industry can leverage their tech savviness to really grow the tourism industry. These young people, when they travel, they are sharing their experiences live. So we want to see how can we take advantage of this technology and innovation to really, not only the youth, but even us, to really make sure that we use technology and innovation to grow the tourism industry. And as I said, when I visited you at your studios in Nairobi, these young people, sometimes the content they create and share is not the very positive content. So I was saying that supposing all these young people that create and share content, for example, if they came to the coast and started sharing about the beaches at the Kenya coast, the products like the Vasco da Gama pillar not far from here, in Mombasa, about the Fort Jesus, supposing they created and shared a lot of content about these products, wouldn't knowledge and about these products worldwide grow? And therefore, wouldn't that attract more visitors to our region? So really, this is what we are conversing in the room today. And this also gives an opportunity to young people to interact with the industry players, the tour operators, travel agents, and policymakers, sitting in one room to really have a discussion on how, working together, we can further grow the tourism industry, not only between our two countries, but also in the region, because we are also talking about regional tourism, which helps us, especially since COVID, to address the challenges related with international tourism. These international tourists, although we really like them and we want them to keep coming, but sometimes they are very unpredictable. Something small happens and many of them cancel their trips. But we in the region, we are more resilient. We are more, if I may, small incidents don't make us cancel our travel plans. So we really also want to begin relying a lot more on regional tourism, on people visiting from our region. And as I said earlier, for example, for a Kenyan to visit Uganda, they don't need a passport, they don't need a visa, they don't even have to fly. So really we need to focus on regional tourism if we are to realize the ambitious targets that all our countries have to grow the numbers and income generated from tourism.
And Ambassador, once you were posted here, let me jog your memory a little bit back in 2022 in Mombasa and in Diani as well. You were talking about the affordability of air tickets. For you to boost regional migration between these two nations, have you addressed the concerns of affordability, not only for air tickets, but for the people where they're staying accommodation?
On the issue of air travel, really, the governments in the region have a big role to play to really cut down on the taxes that are imposed on air travel, on the air tickets, on the aviation fuel. This is a conversation that we are having even under the East African community to domesticate regional travel. Because, for example, you can imagine someone traveling from Nairobi to Entebbe and vice versa, spending over $400 on an air ticket. And yet, with about 100 or 80 euros, you can travel from Brussels to Paris. So really, this is a conversation that is still ongoing in the region to make sure that we open up the skies, that we domesticate regional travel. So this is what the governments are doing. But also, especially between Uganda and Kenya, the two governments are talking about working on the SGR, connectivity between Uganda and Kenya using SGR. When this is implemented, it is going to be a game changer. When someone can sit on an SGR from Mombasa and travel up to Kampala, really it is pleasure. You don't have to go and check in at the airport and wait. So really, as we work on reducing the cost of air travel, we are also working on the connectivity of the SGR between Uganda and Kenya. This really is also going to grow the numbers. But as I said earlier, governments have already done a lot. For example, by enabling people to travel on their national IDs, because many people don't have these passports, they are still looked at as required to travel very far and wide. So really, especially between Uganda and Kenya, the introduction of traveling on national ID also already facilitated a lot of travel. So really these are the efforts which the governments and the private sector, especially between Uganda and Kenya, we have also discussed the issue of introducing East African rates. We are talking to some partner hotels to have special rates, for example, between the two countries, so that when a Kenyan travels to Uganda, they have a special rate in their hotels. And this is a conversation that we are also having that is ongoing. But really, governments and the private sector have been very proactive. We have worked together with them very, 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 very closely. For example, the Ugandans have been here on a farm trip since last Wednesday, and all of them were staying in hotels on a complimentary basis. Over 100 Ugandans have been on a farm trip at the Kenya coast, but the hotels at the Kenya coast provided all the beds on a complimentary basis. None of them was paying. So you can see that really the private sector have appreciated this initiative, and they are really supporting it because they are already seeing the benefits. That's why even 4 years later, they are still able to play a very active role. The hoteliers giving us hotel beds, the tour operators giving us the vehicles. So everybody working together to really make sure that we promote this partnership further.
And Ambassador, the last time you were in our studios, you were talking about the numbers, the projections, clearly stating that over 200,000 Ugandans were able to visit the country last year. And of course, over 400 Kenyans visited Uganda in the same year with that particular figure. Are we likely to see these figures increasing?
Yes, really, the figures will keep growing. We hope we can realize at least a 5% growth every year of these numbers. Really, it is achievable. It is possible. It is possible for 1 million Kenyans to visit Uganda over the next 5 years. It is possible to triple the number of Ugandans visiting Kenya. That's why these farm trips, which increase on product knowledge, the tour operators knowing how to package these products, it is playing into increasing the numbers. You know, in the past, people thought that in order to have a holiday, one needed to go to Dubai. But for example, here in Kilifi County, yesterday, the Ugandans went to Mambrui sand dunes. Many of them, when they posted the pictures, they thought that, you people, we thought we were at the coast. Kumbe, you are in Dubai. So you can see that many people don't know that even coming to Kilifi, you can experience the sand dunes. So really this product knowledge and exposure is going to really greatly help us grow the numbers. And we are sure we shall get there.
Mm-hmm. And Ambassador, today and tomorrow, how many dignitaries are we expecting here? And what are the likely outcomes you're targeting in this particular conference this year?
I think as at yesterday, about 500 delegates had registered to attend the conference, and I think by now we may even have closed because that was about our target. When you add the VIPs and invited guests, we may go to over 600 delegates attending the conference, and these are really serious players in the industry. We are not, as I said earlier, this is not a talk show. We really, people come to discuss serious business, B2B, B2G, concluding partnerships and networks. So really, the conversation we are going to be having is about smart destination. We have a panel discussion starting at 9 on smart destinations. What kind of destination does a modern traveler want? Not just concrete, a hotel full of concrete, but something that really, this travel these days is experiential. People want to immerse themselves into what the culture. We are also discussing culture and heritage. We are discussing adventure and sports. So these digital branding and tech-based tourism, which is in line with the theme. So really, these are discussions that directly affect or help the players to really position themselves in a better way, do the market more digitally than the traditional newspaper or TV. So really, and this is the conversation we are going to be having this morning, and you can see it directly creates more sensitization and awareness amongst the industry players on how to position themselves better and be attractive to the traveler.
And of course, given that we need to wind up a little bit here, Ambassador, we are talking about, we can see you have invited even our Tourism Cabinet Secretary, that is Rebecca Miano. You clearly talked about the importance of having an SGR running from here, the coast, all the way to Entebbe or in Kampala to ensure that we boost the number of tourists who are crisscrossing both nations. What other agreements we will likely see between Kenya and Uganda to boost tourism?
Of course, as you earlier indicated in your introduction, we already have a memorandum of understanding on cooperation in tourism. So that's where our cooperation is anchored. It talks about training, joint promotion, joint marketing. So really the anchor of our cooperation now between Uganda and Kenya is the Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in Tourism. And we from Uganda are also going to benefit a lot because we know that Kenya has been at this much longer than us. So really, as Uganda, we also stand to benefit a lot from how Kenya does it. And I'm sure with this partnership, both of us will mutually benefit. And as you have indicated, we are expecting the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, Honorable Rebecca Miano, and the governor, of course, the governor of Kilifi, and the other governors and the waziris from tourism at the coast. So really, it is going to be an interesting interaction today and tomorrow.
And according to the program, I've also seen that you will also be conversing what the outcomes came from the third Kenya-Uganda Tourism Conference. Maybe quickly, what are some of those outcomes and how much have you implemented?
In Kampala, some of the discussions we had was about dealing with bottlenecks to regional tourism. And the issues we discussed about earlier, the facilitating air travel, those are some of the issues we discussed in Kampala. We talked about sustainability, which is really a trending issue in tourism today. And you see more and more of our players, the national parks and whatever, they are really promoting sustainability. So we created more awareness about sustainability. On how we discussed how to deal with the bottlenecks affecting regional tourism, and all this, the conversation about this continues. As I said earlier, we are really trying to work on improving air connectivity within the region, so that we look at air travel as a road, as we look at, for example, the ferry connecting Kwale and Mombasa, so that we don't look at air travel as luxury, but as a means of moving from point A to point B. And all this is conversation that we are carrying forward from last year, and we shall continue engaging on.
And some of the key highlights of recommendations that you clearly made to, of course, address those bottlenecks and at the end of the day boost tourism in both countries.
Really, we said that, for example, and I touched on this earlier, reducing on the taxes that the governments impose on the air tickets, and also introducing more players, because competition also affects the pricing of the tickets. So these are some of the recommendations, and we can see, for example, I was informed recently that Airlink, Safari Link, is introducing connectivity between Nairobi, Kisumu, and Entebbe. So all these are issues we continue to deal with, the recommendations that we follow up. That's why we are bringing them forward, actually, to look at them even at this conference, to see, are we implementing, are we following up, where are we, where do we need to do more? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. We'll see you inside that particular conference. Thank you for making time on KBC Channel 1. We'll be coming inside and to showcase what the conference will have to offer. And of course, that has been the Ambassador, Paul Mukumbia. He is the Consul General Consulate of the Republic of Uganda in Mombasa County. And of course, this particular conference is the 4th edition. As I told you, the journey started in Mombasa, went to Diani, to Kampala, and now it is here in Malindi. And of course, the recommendations and the key tenets that form-based the Kampala resolution is what they're going to converse. But at the end of the day, it will be about tech, smart traveling, smart tourism. That is what they're going to focus on, given that the world is moving towards that trajectory when it comes to AI and the advancements in technology both nations have made. But for now, we're taking a short commercial break. Do not go too far. Good Morning Kenya continues. For now, don't go too far.
In a world where news is ever-changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Nilikuwa nimekosa kosa gani ndio anishike?
Lakini sasa unajua alikuonya mambo ya ulevi.
Sikuwa mlevi.
Daddy ulikuwa umeenda wapi?
Tulikuwa na mazungumzo na bwana chief.
Ulamuwa minyaru. Ndakure vindu vya mangondo kose kono mino ni ndinyu mwana wevu. Santa fanya ajaki. Huyu ni omba.
Iki kimzee kinatafuta nini hapa?
Leo tutaonana mundu kwa mundu.
We! Sitapoteza muda wangu na nguvu kwa mtu mjinga kama wewe.
Umepoteza fahamu. Nitakukumbusha kila kitu nikikuja.
Nenda ukafanya kazi huko. Huyu kupungwani kila mahali mpungwani tu.
Wananiita gundu.
But for millions around the world, that gift is under threat, especially right here in Kenya. A silent killer is claiming lives, young and old, rich and poor. It's not a new virus, neither is it a rare disease. This is pneumonia, and according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, pneumonia has been the leading cause of death in Kenyan hospitals for the past 5 years. In 2021, it claimed over 15,000 lives, and it is time to talk about it. The question that lingers most in our heads is, what exactly is pneumonia?
Pneumonia is a disease that affects the lungs, a condition where the lungs get inflamed and infected. There are many causes. We have bacterial causes, we have viral causes, we have fungal causes. And sometimes we classify pneumonia based on the cause. So we can say it's bacterial pneumonia, we can say it's viral pneumonia, we can say it's fungal pneumonia. Those are the main causes.
Symptoms of pneumonia include cough, fever, chills, and difficulty in breathing, which can be easily mistaken for a normal cold and can escalate within hours. However, in some cases, especially in remote areas and in children, delayed treatment can mean tragedy. According to Dr. Magada, pneumonia is diagnosed and treated based on the cause.
Depending on what we think is the likely cause of pneumonia, then we'll decide. For example, if it is bacterial pneumonia, we then have to give antibiotics. If it is viral pneumonia, then we have to give antiviral agents. If it is fungal pneumonia, then we have to give antifungal agents, and they're different. And also, even in the bacterial pneumonia, we have to give medication based on where we suspect the patient got the pneumonia. We have like 5 areas where pneumonia can be gotten from. If it is outside a health facility, we call that community-acquired pneumonia. Now, in community-acquired pneumonia, the approach is different when we are giving antibiotics. If the pneumonia is acquired within the health facility, and it's not a long-term care facility, we call that healthcare acquired pneumonia or health-associated pneumonia. Now, again, the approach is different. The health-associated pneumonia usually is more serious than community-acquired. Then we have ventilator-associated pneumonia. In ventilator-associated pneumonia, this is a pneumonia where a patient gets when they are intubated in ICU, and they're put on a respirator. Again, the approach for that on that treatment is different. And then we have aspiration pneumonia. Aspiration pneumonia happens especially in people who are unconscious and they are not able to cough out things, so part of the gut contents get into the lungs. Again, in aspiration pneumonia, the approach in terms of treatment is different.
Kenya is fighting back, but this has also been met with its share of challenges.
The biggest challenge, like I said, is in the area of diagnosis. But once we are sure that it's pneumonia, the next challenge is on the available medication. Some of the medication that we need to use, for example, if you're talking about healthcare-associated pneumonia or ventilator-associated pneumonia, some of those are very expensive. And where insurance has an issue or there is no insurance, then the family has an issue in terms of affordability. We also need to then advise the family in terms of to avoid picking the infection from the patient or reinfecting the patient when the patient goes back to them upon discharge.
Pneumonia kills more children in Kenya than any other disease, and there are some risk factors that we need to consider as we strive to fight against pneumonia.
And the risk factors for pneumonia, age is one of them. Yes. You'll find that children under 2 years and adults, elderly, over 65, are more prone to getting pneumonia. Therefore, this is an age group we would target, for example, in making sure their environments are cleaner and free of infection if we can. Other risk factors, for example, smoking, tobacco smoking is a risk factor. So smoking cessation is an important approach in prevention. In terms of wanting to improve immunity, because we know that immunosuppression is one major important risk factor. So one of the ways of improving immunity is a healthy diet, exercise, adequate rest. People must, we must embrace rest as part of a schedule. I know now we have very many targets, people wanting to work around the clock, but rest is an important aspect of building immunity. So that is an important thing. And then, of course, we must look at air quality. Air pollution plays a role in predisposing people to infections, to pneumonia especially. And so it's important that we improve our air quality, reduce pollution.
There in Broadcasting House. We are coming to you from Kuresoi North Sub-County, where the president has quite a number of activities lined up for the day. Top of his agenda is that he's launching the Mau Forest Complex Integrated Conservation and Livelihood Improvement Program. And part of this is just to ensure that Kenya reaches the target of 15 billion trees planted. And of course, this includes the planting of trees. If my cameraman could just pan right there, there are some activities going on behind me. There's some tree planting exercises that are being prepared for. Remember that the president will be here. He will plant the trees. He will launch this particular conservation efforts. And then much later, he will proceed to launch a road in this particular area. This, remember, is Kuresoi North Sub-County. And then beyond that, he shall also be launching various tree planting activities, especially targeting fruit trees. Remember, it is important to plant trees, but beyond that, how can we ensure that we are planting trees that can actually feed our people? So those are part of the programs this day at Kuresoi North Sub-County. And he will also be launching the Kinamba Mengit Chepkinoyo Morinduku road, the phase 1 of that particular road by Kenya Rural Roads Authority. Part of this is also including the launch of the last mile connectivity for electricity for Kuresoi North Sub-County by the Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation, that is REREC. And there are a number of activities he'll be launching. There are milk coolers, tree seedlings, as I just said, waste bins. And so this is part of the president's program this morning at Kuresoi North. And beyond that, he will also be speaking to the Wananchi, of course, about why it is important to ensure that we are conserving the environment. Part of his launch today will also include incorporating sports with conservation to ensure that, knowing that Rift Valley has come up with very many athletes who have gone on to raise the Kenyan flag across the world, it is important to also incorporate sports into conservation. So that is really a sneak peek of what will be happening today. We are at the site where he will be launching the program and planting a tree. Then we shall proceed to the site where he will be launching the last mile electrification as well as addressing the public. So we shall be keeping you up to date on that. Vivian, I want to hand it back to you in studio. My name is Betty Kiptum. Vivian?
Thank you so very much, Kiptum, for that update. And of course, we will be keeping tabs on what is happening in Kuresoi North. The moment the president gets there, we will get back to that as well. Now, you are just in time for our Family Tech segment. This is where we talk about different conversations around the family. And today, now that we are on that holiday break, not us, school-going children. They have a long break, like a 2 months long break, and we just want to try and see ways in which we can be able to ensure that our children are engaged during this time. So the topic of conversation is navigating the long holidays. And you know, the children are at home full time, now what? And I want to pose a question to you as a parent or a guardian who's watching us right now. What are your plans for your children during this long holiday? Just talk to us, let us know what you're planning to do with the children, how you're planning on engaging them. Kama unaenda kuwapeleka ushago, you just talk to us, let us know what you're planning to do around this time with your children, and we'll be going through those messages. You can send us a WhatsApp message via our number. It will be right there on your screens within no time. But right now, how about I engage with one of my guests who's already here? We have Anthony Njenga. Anthony Njenga is a psychologist. He's also a mental health champion and mentor as well. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
You're doing well this morning?
I am well.
All right.
Yes.
So let's get into this topic. Watoto wamefunga shule.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll get back to Anthony in a few, but we would want to get to hear from you, just to get to understand wewe unapanga kupanga aje your daughter or your son during this long holiday. It's a really long one, and you know, they say that an idle mind, yes, you know what they say about the idle mind and it being the devil's workshop. So you need to ensure that your child is not idle, you know. You just ensure that you're engaging them in one way or the other. And around this time also, a lot gets to happen, you know. A lot gets to happen. Now we are in that period where gadgets are everything. So you need to also be watchful of what your children are watching when it is that screen time for them. So that is exactly what we'll be looking at. Now back to you, Anthony.
Yes.
You know, first of all, welcome once again.
Thank you so much.
To the show. It's a pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you so much.
It's the long holiday, and most times tukikuwa katika, you know, this period where it's that kind of long holiday, wazazi pia wanaanza complain because now wanashindwa, what are we supposed to do with these children at home every day, all the time?
Yeah.
You know, maybe just from your own perspective, how to go about, you know, just ensuring that these children, as they are home, they're also just going to be as good as well they're in school.
Unajua kitu moja Vivian, hata venye umesema the first point, ati wanashindwa what are they going to do with these children now that they are home. Unajua hii kitu wanafaa kuwa konayo. It should be in their mentality, because they had gone to school, they have been in school. Now they are home. It was coming. Wakiwa shule, definitely at some point wangekuwa tu na holiday.
Yeah.
So as a parent, usikuwe na ile pressure ya ati ama unakuwa na ile tension that now kids are home, now what am I going to do with these kids? I'm confused. But I think ukipeleka watoto shule wakati walikuwa third term, there was that expectation that at some point they're going to close school.
Yeah.
And as a parent, unafaa kuwa umejipanga. So during this time, in this holiday, kama mzazi, it's important to tell the parents that they should have that awareness, because right now we are living in a very different era. Kuna Gen Z, kuna Generation Alpha, kuna technology, there is all that. So it's something that parents should be keen on, because another thing that is important to mention is, you know, at shule, kwanza sana high school, there's a lot that happens, Vivian. There are kids that either go through some issues in high school or in primary school.
Yeah.
So it's important even during this time, hata watoto wakiwa nyumbani, you should engage your kids and having conversations with them to understand how a school been. Unajua shida ni ati wazazi wengi watoto wakifunga shule, juu most of the time wanakujanga na report book ya the performance, inaanzanga ni kelele. Wewe mbona umefail, mbona last term ulikuwa unapata, kama ni high school ulikuwa unapatanga B, nao umerudi mpaka C, kama ulikuwa unapata C sasa unapata D, shida ni gani? Anamchapa. That's not the way or the best way to have conversations with these children. Sana if wamepita the teen, the adolescents, na wakaingia high school and all that. So it's important for parents to have sit downs with their children. Kukuwa na zile conversations, unawauliza hata kama wamefail, just try and have an understanding of why, because You see, performance for adolescents, most of the time there is an underlying issue. In psychology, we normally take an issue as a symptom. Performance or decline in grades, that's a symptom. And in every symptom, there's an underlying cause towards that symptom happening. So get to understand, what is the issue? Is it the school? Because most of the time, these kids might be affected with performance. Either ni shule ndiyo shida, ama ni nyumbani ndiyo shida. You understand?
Yeah.
So it could be an internal pressure, maybe, ndio maana hivyo grades zimeenda chini. So akiwa nyumbani, get to have conversations with them. But you see, the problem is, most parents, kuna ile strictness wameweka, to a point the kids now fear even engaging the parents in conversation.
Yeah,
Napata
like
kama
a parent is not even approachable at all.
You understand? Because mtoto anajua ama anaangalia in this perspective. When I approach my mom, when I approach my dad, when I approach my guardian, nikimwambia this and this is what happened, they will either lecture me or beat me or do something that is not good. So as parents, you need also to create a safe environment. Mimi nasemanga hivi, Vivian, hata kama wewe ni mzazi mwenye previously before you had created an unsafe environment where your kids can't talk to you, it is not too late. You can just start from where they are. But now sasa shida ni sasa the kids maybe wamemea pembe. Because you see, when a kid starts kusumbua, or start being stubborn, then it's a lot of that has to do with the environment that they're coming from.
Yes. We'll pick it up from there. Let's take a break and then we'll come back to continue with this conversation. Don't go too far.
Nilikuwa nimekosa kosa gani ndio anishike?
Lakini sasa unajua alikuonya mambo ya ulevi.
Sikuwa mlevi.
Daddy ilikuwa umeenda wapi?
Tulikuwa na mazungumzo na bwana chief.
Ulamwa minyago.
Ndakure vintu vya mangondo kosa ekonomi no ndinyu mwana wevu.
Santa fanya ajaki.
Huyu ni omba.
Iki kimzee kinatafuta nini hapa?
Leo tutaonana mundu kwa mundu. We! Sitapoteza muda wangu na nguvu kwa mtu mjinga kama wewe.
Umepoteza fahamu. Nitakukumbusha kila kitu nikikuja. Enda ukafanya kazi huko. Huyu kupungwani kila mahali mpungwani tu.
That is very nice. Delete that thing. Mini influencer. Do you know my wife anajua niko Mombasa? Delete that video. Yes, and again you delete.
Ni nini mbaya baba Karen?
Hiyo maneno ya baba Karen nilikwambia achane nayo.
Ukaona karembo, kasupu.
Hii nayo umedanganya wewe.
Hebu nionyeshe zile vitu unajua kufanya. Hii ni mtaalamu ya kupulisa matumbo.
Tunapuliza balloon.
Nimekuletea lunch.
Uniletea mboga unaniambia ndio mboga.
Marada. Kwani hii ni nini?
Nisaidie na tissue.
Ai.
Nasikia kukugonga.
Saa ingine mbona unafanya vitu ambazo hazieleweki?
I never heard the music so sweet. I repeat.
Wagwan, me brethren, big things are going. Remember, each and every Monday we have to share down the place with nothing but the best of smooth way the vibes in your favorite station. You know these things, man.
Alafu kila Tuesday, kata simu tupo side giving you Kenyan music from the 254.
And of course, you can spice up your Wednesday by enjoying blazing hot hip-hop and R&B jams.
We don't got no label. She says she want bottles.
Vibes and vibes as we go all across Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, all the way to Tanzania to give you nothing but the best on Afro Thursday. Make sure you make a date with us each and every single Friday with me, DJ_Liza Diva,
DJ Cold,
and me, Wanjiko. This is Club One Extra.
Unanifanya nisikie kunyongwa. Hadija ai, mani especially ukisonga.
And we are back. Thank you for staying with us. Remember, you can get to talk to us. Our number is 0716-103-301. 0716-103-301. I would love to get to hear from you. What are you planning to do with your child during these long holidays? Kuna mambo ambayo umempangia, you know, have you taken them up country? Are there activities that you're engaging them with? Just talk to us. Let us get to know how you're planning to go about it. Maybe another parent may borrow a thing or two from what you are doing or planning to do. Back to you, Anthony. Rajo, you were talking about the fact that sometimes our parents are not okay, they say you're not supposed to be it's not a must for you to be your child's friend, but at least be friendly.
Exactly.
You know, in that your child can be able to talk to you. If there's a matter that is disturbing them, if there's one thing or the other, they can be able to talk to you. And that is what you were commenting on, just telling parents, be there for your child, like allow your child to be able to speak to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
There needs to be a balance between, you know, being disciplined and also allowing them to express how they feel to you. Don't create that wall or that gap, because you see, for children, the moment this child sees that there is a block or there is a wall that has been created from them to the parent, then now they tend to express how they feel through other methods which is common right now yenye wanafanya ni porn. Unapata mtoto ako kwa simu. You see, that another dangerous thing is most parents wanaona ni vizuri kuachia mtoto simu ndio pia hao wakuwe na that time. Well, it's okay to have your personal time as a parent, but also what are these kids doing on their phone? Because most of the time unapata mtoto amefungua Telegram, unapata mtoto wako, you know, ana watch some very weird and bad stuff that inafanya moral zake zikuwe mbaya sana. So as much as you also need to maybe kama ni kidogo wapatie simu, let them also engage or watch things that are helping them. Ndio wasikue wana engage na vitu zingine kwa simu, alafu later on who will they blame? They will only blame you, because watasema mama yangu baba yangu alikuwa tu ameniachia simu, ananiachia tu TV. I can do all I want. So they never check, they never ask, they never check on me, they never allow me express. There is that gap. Apart from even whatever the phone, their kids will engage in other sexual activities. Napata mtoto wa miaka 13 years, 12 years engaging in a sexual activity. Then in the process you find that umeambiwa mtoto wa neighbor ameimpregnate a 13-year-old na kijana ako 14, msichana ako 13. So you see now that's issues of teenage pregnancy at a very young age. So it's a wake-up call to parents. It's a wake-up call that as much as hii time yote wako holiday for the two months plus and all that, have that time to also engage with them. Not only usiwaache tu ati wa engage kwa simu na waende wanacheza. There should be a balance. You see, for a family setup, during this time I believe every family has a structure. And in every structure there is a routine. So isikue hata pia when it comes to the meal, waking up time, meal time, and also time ya kulala. Isikue mtoto wako umemwalao aamke at 11 am ama aamke time anataka, time ya kukula anaweza kula time anataka, time ya kulala anaweza lala time anataka. There should be a routine.
So you're saying that structure is really important, because you know it's something they were used to in school. You know, in school there's structure. You know, you're waking up at this time, even if you're not in boarding school. Unajua kama you're a day scholar, unaamkanga at this particular time. This is the time when you go to the stage, maybe for the school bus, or if you're taking a matatu, or you're being dropped to school. Unafaa kukua shule by this time. This time to this time, there's this lesson that you're having. After this, there's this other. So there's structure in school.
And
you know,
routine.
There's routine. So you're saying it's good to maintain that. Why is that important?
The reason why it's important to maintain a structure and routine is because you see, with that, it also helps this child of yours be able to learn and understand that even in life, there are things that should happen in a certain way, and if you don't do it in this way, these are the dangers of it. Like, structure keeps any family, not only family, but also every system or any kind of organization or system. There should be a structure that, or a routine that is followed. That if you don't do this, if, for example, there is time for doing chores, there is time for studying, there is time for play, and there is time for rest. That should be very clear, and you should set that rule ya nyumba, that Kama ni time ya kucheza ni hii wakati. Kama ni time ya kufanya chores, kama ni time ya kusoma, because hata kama unataka mtoto wako asome na apite, they also need to rest. So don't also be so strict. Ndio ati kila wakati wako kwa kitabu. No, it should be that routine and structure that at this time, if it is waking up, we should wake up as a family and you as the children by 10. Na breakfast, it's served by 10. Ukimiss 10 breakfast, ni shauri yako. Ungoje mpaka lunch. The same thing happens in their schools. Kama ni lunch time wanaendanga kama ni lunch time wanaendanga lunch kitu kama 12 ama 1 p.m. Ukimiss 1 p.m. sinamaanisha wata assume you're not interested in eating. So there should be that structure and set it very clearly so that they can be able to understand. Ndio hata wakimaliza shule, when they complete either primary level or secondary level, when they join campus or college or they do engage in business or stuff like that, they will know for any system to operate and work successfully, there is a routine, there is a structure that has to be there. Isikuwe unamwachilia kwe freestyle. Juu ukimwachilia atafanya vitu zingine and they will engage even in crime, because you see now they have a whole 2 months. There are songs, wimbo ni mingi zinatokea. So hata wimbo zingine zenye wanasikiza, the songs that they're listening to, some of them are not even helping, because some of them are encouraging crime and gang and all that. So it's important as a parent, as much as you also need your personal time, because you see, as a parent, you can't pour from an empty cup. As much as you want your personal time, it's important to also check in with your children. Allow them to also express how they feel. Monitor what they do. Just have that structure and routine. Usiwaachilie na usikuwe too strict. There should be a balance.
There should be a balance.
Yes.
Because pia kuna point unaweza fika mpaka inakuwa sasa hii hata mama sasa wewe ni mtiaji. Kwa sababu tumefunga shule bado unataka nikae in this particular way, you know, unataka mpaka kuniambia nikuwe na timetable bado.
Unajua pia wako na hobbies. You see these children, they have hobbies. They have things they love doing. So get to understand. Unajua kuna wazazi hawajui what their children even love doing. Wana assume wanajua but hawajui. You assume your child loves to sing, but mtoto wako maybe hapendi kuimba, because also for adolescents and teenagers or teens, hiyo inaitwaje, creativity na kenye wanapenda huwa zina change at some point. Kuna wakati watapenda kuimba, then at some point wa discover, I can dance. Get to understand like ni nini unapenda kufanya. Kama ni swimming, ndio time mzuri ya kuwa enroll to these swimming clubs. Kama ni dancing, kuna a lot of dance clubs. Wacha waende wa engage. Kama ni mambo na kuimba, just try and help them see kitu wanaweza learn, because you see when it comes to every talent and every hobby, you can even gain something out of it. Hata after high school ama primary wanajipata hata wana make some money out of their talent, because if it is dance, wakianza ku-enroll na these dance groups after high school, they can maybe form their own dance group. If it is singing, they can now go and start learning piano lessons, vocal, and maybe after high school they can discover, aside from having a career that I will want to do and engage in college or campus, I can be able to teach people vocals and maybe how to play piano, how to play guitar. So it's important to also understand, what does your child love to do? What does your child want to engage in? Don't just usiwaachilie na pia usikuwe too strict. Kama ni masomo, wacha wasomo to a certain time, because normally psychologically a human brains ya concentration, lifespan ya concentration ya mwanadamu inakuanga inarenjianga 1 to 2 hours. Sasa kuna mzazi anaambia mtoto weenda kwa room, kaa hapo jifungie mpaka kutoka saa 6 mpaka 4, toka hapo 4. Sasa surely 4 hiyo hours 4 zote just akuwe na breaks. Unamwambia kama ni kusoma, soma. Kama unataka usaidizi mahali, feel free to ask me. But if you let your child ajue that you are very strict, create that barrier, then it will become a challenge. It will become even hard for them to actually openly communicate to you and tell you that there is a challenge I have. I've experienced bullying in school. I've experienced maybe sodomy or sexual abuse or something like that. Because it's important to understand. Ndio unajua kuna shock fulani wazazi wanapata. Mtoto amemaliza high school, ameenda college or engage in business or something. Then they start realizing that their children are engaged in another harmful behaviors. Maybe, for example, they find that now maybe it's a boy child. Their friends, circle of friends ni boys peke. And you don't question that as a parent. You see, most of the sexual orientation zina happening in schools. Mtoto akiwa primary hapo na akiwa secondary, there's a lot that happens. Inaweza kuwa alikuwa sexually oriented to something that is more harmful to them, but maybe hakuwa anajua. Then sasa after they complete high school or primary, wakikuwa adults, wakiendelea tu kuwa adults, they engage in some things. Unashindwa mbona mtoto wako amefanya hivi na hivi, amekuletea huko una expect. I'm not trying to beef the whatever community, but I'm just trying to say it's important to have those quality conversations, those family connection moments where hata wakati kama ni chakula usikubali ya mtoto wako wakati ni time ya food anaenda kukulia chakula kwa bedroom. Jua ni nini anafanya kwa hiyo bedroom, because you see during this holiday there's a lot of suicide cases that happen, because you see that aspect of either parent are very strict ama parent ameachilia mtoto sana. So there's that void, there's that gap that has been created in that child, in that child's internal mind, internal body and all that. So it becomes a challenge. So get to be very active and participate in what they do. As much as you also have your personal whatever as a parent, because you also need to go to work and
Yeah, even actually I was to speak on that. We're living in a really fast-paced time. Parents need to make ends meet, so sometimes they don't have time to be present, to be present and be there in the house.
No, that's
especially during this time.
That's an excuse.
I know it may sound like an excuse. It may sound like an excuse, but tuambiane ukweli, like tunatafuta pesa, right? So unapata tuseme the dad leaves the house by 6 a.m. na ametoka ameenda kazini, and he remains engaged throughout the day, maybe comes back home at 7 p.m. Now again they need to prepare for tomorrow. So sometimes I want to extend some grace to some of the parents.
It's good to extend the grace,
busy.
But it's an excuse. Let me just say this for a fact. Hiyo venye unasema hiyo yote ni excuse, because you see venye umesema mzazi anatoka kwa nyumba 6 na maybe unasema hana hiyo time na mtoto. Hiyo 6 akitoka kwa nyumba it's a small things that matters. Akitoka kwa nyumba, can they go maybe kwa bedroom ya mtoto?
Amelala.
Hata kama amelala, that voice ya nimeenda job, ukuwe na siku poa, or just that. Ama juu hata ukiwa kazi, I believe in any private or public business or work environment, si kuna breaks, si kuna tea break, kuna lunch break, na kuna maybe break ya jioni, whichever. Hiyo break, hata kama unapewa break ya 1 hour na unataka kukula, you can just make a call for just a minute or two to check on your child on how they are doing, because if you say uko busy sana hauna time, inamaanisha hata we mwenyewe haujajipanga, then personally as a parent you will experience burnout. You should have the balance. As much as uko na kazi mingi unafanya, kuwa na ile balance ya ile free time uko nayo kidogo, just that call kujulia mtoto hali, unaendeleaje, unafanya nini. It matters, because let me give you a practical example. Ni juzi nilikuwa napanda public means, na I saw the conductor akiongea na the child akimwambia umekula, na ako kwa gari bado analipisha fare. So you want to tell me these people are not busy? They are busy, but they can make time to call their children and ask unafanya nini, umekula, umekula, uko sawa, uko na kitu unahitaji, you see. So ukisema ati mzazi haezi kuwa na time ya kucheck in na mtoto na kumwangalia na kumjulia hali hata kama ako job ama ako busy, that's an excuse, Vivian. You can always create even a minute or two in a whole day, because siku inakuanga na 12 hours. Ukiamka kutoka asubuhi na maybe unaenda job 6 na unatoka job kitu 10 ama 9 ama 8 ama 7, in hapo yote unataka kuniambia hautakuwa na time ka kupumzika?
So you need to be intentional
and create a balance.
Parenting and create a
intentional parenting and have a balance to know this is not only you as a parent, you also have kids. It's not a selfish family. It's an intentional family where you engage each other, you and the kids. So as much as uko busy, that 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 minutes to call your child and just check on them, wanafanya nini, wako wapi. Hata kama maybe you are a single parent na maybe umeenda kazi, umeacha mtoto nyumbani, check on them. Umekula, unaendelea, unafanya such those small things, they matter. See ati ile kitu kubwa sana. The small things that you do as a parent really matters.
Really matter. All right, get to be part of this conversation. The number is right there on your screens: 0716103301, 0716103301. You are allowed to call us live and talk to us, or you can just send us a WhatsApp message. We want to know how you are planning on, navigating this time, this period of time, the whole of November, the whole of December, that you will be having your child at home. Tuambie wewe unafanya nini? What are you doing to ensure that your child, as much as they are home, they are also just as safe as they usually are. When they're in school, they're also just as engaged. Their minds are also just as engaged. And Anthony, even speaking about that, speaking as a psychologist, why is it important to always have, a child, engaged even, mentally, emotionally, mentally specifically as well? Why is it so important?
The reason why that is important is because you see, as a human being, you need to be active, and not only in one particular lifestyle. You need to engage your mind, your body, your spirit, your physical activity and all that with something. You see, the moment you are not engaged in something, or maybe you're engaged in one particular thing for some time without having to balance or switch or do some other things that are helpful, just as in, I see, life is not too serious, Vivian. Kuna time you need to rest, you need to play. You need to play and you need to also to be serious. So it's important, and the importance of why we need to engage your child or engage yourself as a child who is at home or something with something that you're doing is because it will keep you active and it will keep you on toes and it will help you understand really what real life is, because you see, life is not all about just being serious and all that. You need also to have that time to play, have some good time, quality time, relax, maybe video game for 20 minutes, kidogo tu for just kurelax mind yako. But the moment you're not doing something constructive, or you're doing something constructive for some time without having to give breaks for yourself, then it becomes a challenge.
All right, let us pick our first caller, Dixon from Eldoret. Good morning.
Sometimes without having to give breaks for yourself, then it becomes a challenge. All right, let us pick our first caller, Dixon from
Dixon, kindly mute your TV.
Good morning.
Mute TV yako tafadhali ndo tuweze kuelewana.
Yes, good morning.
How are you? Talk to us. Tuambie wewe unapangaje during this time.
Okay.
Please
I am
mute
fine.
your TV. Please mute your TV. Zima volume ya TV.
This holiday. Okay.
Okay. Dixon? Dixon, hi. Can you hear me? Oh, we've lost him. Kindly, when you call us, just mute your TV so that we can be able to get to understand each other. Ukiwa unajisikiza, tunakusikia pia tunajisikiza tena. Just mute your TV when you call ndo tuweze kuelewana. Dixon, you can call back. Anyway, let's continue with the conversation. And by the way, Nelly has joined us. Nelly Mutai, who's a multimedia creative and also an actress. Welcome to the program.
Asante sana.
Sasa Nelly, you've joined us while we're talking about this conversation. We're just trying to look at how to ensure that our kids are engaged when they're at home. And also as parents, like what role are you supposed to play right now? Are you the kind of parent mwenye sasa unashindwa hawa watoto sasa huu muda wote nafaa kufanya nini na? And there's something we were talking about with Anthony. The thing that, right now, people are busy. Tunatafuta pesa sisi sote. So a parent is maybe wondering, sasa napata time ya kukaa na mtoto nyumbani saa ngapi na naenda kumtafutia school fees ya next term saa ngapi? So what's your take on that?
I feel like holidays are a moment for parents to really bond with their children. These are the days you wake up in the morning, you see your child briefly, they go to school, and then sometimes you see them briefly in the evening or sometimes not. So I feel like parents should really create time to bond with their children. This is not a time to take your kids to go to their grandparents, like pushing them away. You need to create activities.
Allow me to cut you short, kidogo. Let's pick this caller. Morris from Taita, good morning. Good morning, Morris. Zungumza nasi. Wewe unafanya nini na watoto wakati huu?
How are you? Oh. Good morning, Morris. Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello.
Tunakusikia Morris.
Hello.
Kindly mute your TV, tunakusikia.
Hello.
Wow. Okay, I think we're having issues with our calls today. All right, I think we're having issues with our call, but kindly, when you call, just mute your TV. But remember, you can also send a message via WhatsApp. The number is the same, 0716-103-301. Yes, let's get back to you, Nelly.
So I was saying, this is a time for parents to really bond with their children. Like, it's not the time for you to send your kids away to their aunties, to their... you know, grandparents. So, yani unaona ni kama imekuwa stressful. No, it's time for parents to bond with their children, create activities. It is possible. It is possible to work, and unaona kids, they thrive in what do you call it? Like a program. You know, even in school, they know time, a structure. Like in the morning, I'm having tea. Sunday, I'm playing this. So kids thrive in structure, even at home. So create a program. Like, this is the time you wake up. If you have a kid, moja naitwa Kevin, moja naitwa Almasi. Almasi, you're watering the plants. Give them chores, give them duties, create a program, engage with them, let them have activities. You will find that holidays will be more interesting and more fun than just seeing it like a burden.
But Nelly, do you agree? Because Vivian was arguing something. She was saying that the moment parents are normally busy, wanasema wako busy, wameshikana na job, hawawezi engage na watoto. Do you think that's not an excuse? Hiyo ni excuse, so they can create time.
It's an excuse.
They can just create
because I feel like for things that you love, you create time.
Exactly.
These same parents have time to socialize with their friends. They go out, they do social gathering things, they go to church, you know. So I feel like it's an excuse. Yes, I do agree. Parents can get busy, but you can also create time. Yeah.
So it's what we were saying earlier on. It's just intentionality. Ensuring that you're being intentional. Remember, during this time is also the time when also all the predators are also now awake, because they know there are children who are very idle. And we were talking about the phones and the fact that now, you know, screen times, almost even 5-year-olds have phones, 2-year-olds have phones. So this is also the time when predators are taking advantage of this. So maybe for the parent who's watching us, what's the best way to go about ensuring that your child, you know, your child stays protected in all of this? You know, simu yake. You know, how to just ensure that you're following up on what they're looking at. What are they watching, as you had mentioned earlier? Who are they talking to? Because you never know, someone anaweza kuwa ameingia, wako na mpaka Instagram accounts, anasema I've gotten this new friend. She's saying she's 12 years old, but saizo it's not a 12-year-old. It is a whole, you know, adult.
There are these applications where people, kids play games, then they start chatting with other people that they play games with, and some of them are grown adults. So I feel like phones should be protected. There's always that family link that links your phone to your child. Check your child's phone all the time and have that like family link, because I have it with my daughter's tablet. Like I see everything she looks at. And then I've also done a time limit. Like maybe now, because it's holidays, I'll put 3 hours. On school days, I usually put 1 hour. So like after she's done her assignment and she plays, after 1 hour it goes off. She can't use it. So like limit peer time, because then again there'll be over, you know, a lot of screen time is also not good for development of kids.
For me, I'd say I have a brother. He is actually 19 years. He's a teenager. Hiyo kumonitor venye anasema will be difficult for a teenager. It will be extremely difficult. So personally, because I'm the firstborn, unajua firstborns wanakuanga deputy parents.
Yes, you are. By default.
True, by default.
Me being a deputy parent, I've seen my parents, as much as they're engaged on what they are doing on their phones, personally, I take my brother's phone. Literally, namwambia nipatie hiyo simu yako.
Anthony, let's pick this caller first. We have John from Malindi. John, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Tueleze John, wewe unafanya nini na watoto wakati huu wa holidays?
Okay. Mimi watoto niko nao nyumbani. Siko wapeleka kwa nyanya yao. Sasa huwa nawapeleka kama activities kama beach. Kwenda kuswim. Jua alikuwa kinisumbua sana, shule zilikuwa on. They like swimming, so sasa ina tu program at least twice a week tunaenda beach naogelea. Alafu pia nyumbani hapa kuna hizi holiday assignment books nilichukua, so kuna program anafanya assignment. Ili kwa kibisa sasa maana holiday ni ndefu sana.
Kwa hiyo unatafuta wakati wa kuwa nao.
Na ni lazima manake hiyo walipokuwa shule I was not with them.
Yes.
Wakati wengine wamekuwa wamenimiss sana. So I create time to be with them. At least to create the bonding.
Yes,
absolutely.
Nice.
All right. Thank you so much, John.
Yeah.
There you have it. By the way, intentionality. In one way or the other, you just look at ways to just create that time in order to bond with your child. You know, and for those, I keep wanting to extend grace to the ones who maybe they don't have that time. I know you've said hakuna cha kupata kukua hauna time, but just trying to extend kwa wale ambao they feel like it's overwhelming. You know, you had mentioned this is not the time to send your kid maybe aende kwa auntie fulani, but kwa yule ambaye it's overwhelming for them, is it not just fine taking them to a place where you know huku kuna adults wenye wako 24/7? Like for example, up country, you know their grandmother is there and the grandmother is present in the house. And you know mimi nikiwa nyumbani sipatikani jamani.
Tuangalie the reality wazazi wengi wakipeleka watoto ushago sio ati juu hawana wakati. Wanajua kwa nini wanafanya hivyo. Wana hepa responsibility ama hawataki kusumbuliwa. You see, mtoto ndo akuwe msumbufu, inaanzanga from the environment na wazazi wenyewe ndio wameinstill hiyo kusumbua. Sasa wewe kuchukua watoto wako wapeleke nyumbani, hiyo haimaanishi ati sasa uko overwhelmed, because sasa kama uko overwhelmed basi si lazima create your balance. Hata kama yes unaweza kuwa uko busy useme sasa watoto kama ni kupeleka watoto nyumbani, wacha ikuwe from clear grounds that na kupeleka nyumbani kwa either shosho yako, grandmother, grandfather, kubond na wao, si ati ni kwa sababu niko overwhelmed. Because wewe kusema uko overwhelmed ni excuse. Wapeleke ndio wakuwe na time na the other people ndio wapate, maybe now speaking from a single parenting, maybe single mothers wakati wako nyumbani, if it's a boy child and these boys need other men na maybe yeye anakaa Nairobi na nyumbani ni kama huko Eldoret, Kisii and stuff, ni vizuri wapeleke huko kama kuna wajomba, kama kuna grandfather aende interact now, but isikuwe from a point of mimi nimechoka, niko overwhelmed, niko na mambo zangu, wacha niwasukume huko. Hapana.
Vivian, there's this issue. There's some parents who don't even know who their kids are. They even call to school, they're being told their child is a bully, they are shocked. They don't even know, because they don't even spend time with these kids. They don't know who they are. They don't know their personalities, things they like, things they do, if they are being naughty and things like that. So I would urge parents, at least for the first 2-3 weeks, because this holiday is really long. You see, like it's more than 2 months. So at least stay with your kids for a while, and then maybe you can send them on. You can send them to their grandparents or their relatives. And also the idea of sending to grandparents is not bad, because nowadays here in Nairobi or in like urban places, we don't touch grass. We don't touch grass. Like I feel like we're not in touch with reality. But when you go to maybe up countries, you get to see the cows. Like I realized a few months ago, I think my daughter saw a cow for the first time. A few months ago. No, but I like ameona kwa like in the books and books, but not like this. So it's really also good to send them home or play with the chickens and all that. It's also nice, but don't do it as a way of like, you know, getting away from that responsibility. Like, oh, this is a lot of work. No. Just do it so that they can also bond with their grandparents and relatives, and also just get in touch with nature. It's also beautiful.
Ndio umesema mtoto wako ameona ng'ombe for the first time. Nikakumbuka I also have a relative alipeleka ushago for the first time, akaona kuku, akaulizwa hii ni nini, akasema hii ni mbuzi.
Kuku.
Like they don't really have that touch, that ground understanding really, because unajua sasa ushago kuna hiyo nini, kuna hiyo touch yenye unaweza kuwa nayo, si kama si kama tao
or like on TV. So it's also a good thing.
I feel like you know, with the conversation that we've had so far, we've really based it on maybe younger children. You know, I want us now to try look at teenagers, you know, Form 1 students, Form 2, Form 3, you know, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds. I'm sure keeping up with them is very different compared to the smaller ones, you know, the ones in primary school. It's definitely different. So now for a parent who has 3 teenagers in the house,
Now for teenagers, now let's talk about the challenge here. For teenagers, you see these people, hao watu wako na knowledge kubwa sana. They have the knowledge sana, wanaitananga soshi. Soshi unajua inamaanisha ni uko na following maybe Instagram ama TikTok. Soshi ni mtu akona jina, na jina ni through maybe the following. So unasikia tu ni soshi. I remember Malinaka, there are two teenagers naonanga huko wana pose for pictures, wako na my headphones and all that. They are teenagers. So handling teenagers is a bit tricky, but what I really...
Let's listen to Lydia first and then we get back to that. Lydia from High Rise, morning.
Hello.
Hi, how are you, Lydia? How are you navigating?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm watching the program. And I am really thankful for you bringing such program.
Thank you, you're welcome.
And I think parents should create time to be with their children. We can't say that we are too busy. We need to find time. Me personally, I am a busy person, but during holiday, I find time to teach them how to cook. I teach them the house chores. And also the part of play, like creating time to take them even for swimming.
Yes.
And they really learn a lot. And like my daughter, she has really learned a lot in cooking because of the time that I create. Like now, she can cook chapatis even when I'm not in the house.
Wow, nice.
And she's just 15 years old.
So that's a teenager. Actually, we're talking on how to engage the teenagers, and that's a good way through cooking as well.
And another thing also, like when we have the church programs, we let them join. Like in our church where I go, we normally have the ropes camp. And that one also, they will be there for a week and they will learn the word of God.
Nice.
And so it's really helping. It's really helping them to grow and even to learn to be better people. And I personally say, us as parents, we should have good time with these children, because if we leave them to the caregivers, they miss out a lot.
Absolutely.
They miss out a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you so much for your contribution to this conversation. There we have it. You know, that's exactly what you were just talking about, and she's brought that other aspect of religion and just spirituality, and allowing also the child to be in that presence during this time. You know, it's also really important.
Even talent, like you can, maybe they love swimming or they love sports. So it's the time you can let them like explore and engage in such. Maybe they love music, they can join a choir or something like that.
What if a teenager tells you that they have a girlfriend? They in Form 3, they are Form 4. Yeah, they tell you,
they want to go visit their girlfriend?
Yes, and you're a parent.
I don't know the rules, but the rules in our house, there was no dating.
But you see, it's different from now. These are Gen Zs. These are Generation Alpha.
I don't know. So you see, they should call us jealous.
Because you see, I've had experience where a parent was telling me the child is 15, Form 3, and the child was telling this parent that ako na girlfriend, na girlfriend yake ako Form 1. Anataka kwenda kumtembelea. And they've been talking and they had planned a date. So they want anataka pesa. So alikuwa anaambia mamake amtip. Na kumpeleka at least amfurahishe girlfriend yake. So as a parent, how would you take that? Because it's also another challenge. Because you see, from a 15 and a 13, because from 1 it took 13 years. Hapo unaona these people are still young people, but they're also in that stage of discovering themselves, kujua, but sasa ukimkubalisha alafu.
Wow. Let's pick this caller and then we get back to that. Munishi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Muyeshi?
Yes, hi.
Uko salama?
Yes. Nashukuru Mungu, labda wewe?
Niko salama pia. Tueleze wewe unafanyaje wakati huu?
Wakati huu nashukuru Mungu mwanzo. Niko na watoto wangu, mimi nge baba, mimi nge mama. Na kijana wangu yuko shuleni sasa hivi, yuko tuition. Na huyu kijana wangu mwingine mdogo, mwalimu, nimeita mwalimu, yuko naye hapa. Na nimewahi.
We've lost Muyeshi. But yeye ameamua bado waendelee na masomo.
Masomo ni vizuri, but also it's important to tell them, they should, sasa unajua kwa holiday, wacha kukue na balance. Unajua wamesoma shule for some time, wacha tu sahi kukue tu na ka balance. Kama ni assignment ni saa fulani tu saa fulani. Unajua concentration span ya binadamu ina take between 1 to 2 hours. So usikue like ni kufanya assignment the whole day. No, wacha kama ni kusoma kuwe na breaks. Hata akisoma hizo 2 hours ama akifanya assignment, wapatie 2 breaks because also they need time to enjoy, to maybe say visit their friends, you know, engage in such activities, but also you need to monitor them. Kama ni simu, mimi nilikuwa nasema mimi nachukuanga simu ya brother yangu na angalianga. Because nilikuja nikapata akona groups.
They look at,
Because there are channels right now. Channels. So I just take the phone. I found out kuna channels and you know he was just telling some people some other stuff. Unajua kuna vijana ama kuna wasichana wanaweza have conversation, wanakuwa na ile just I feel now they are teens now, na feel sasa they are grown ups. Wanasema mimi sitafanya homework, sitafanya assignment, nitaenda kama ni kufukuzwa hata nifukuzwe. Because unajua wengine wao wanatakanga wakifika shule warudi tu home. Si ati nijua ati school fees haijalipwa. So it's important to monitor them even on their phones. Kama huwezi link, wewe chukua tu simu. Kikataa basi kuwa na ile waambie hii simu sitakupatia for like a week or 2. Uone venye watafanya na wa engage na activities. It's important.
The way we were raised, and I usually love how my parents did things the way they did. They used to talk to us. So they didn't even need to, okay, that time we didn't have like phones per se, ati hivyo sana like right now with the social media and everything. But they used to talk to us. So even when you're alone, you won't do some things, not because you're seen, but because you know they are wrong. So I usually like to approach things that way. Like don't make them not do things because of that fear or ananiangalia ananifuatilizia kind of thing. But because they just know this one is wrong and I'm not supposed to do it.
But you know, talking of what she's saying, was, as you see, she's referring or she's using a reference from what our parents did. An important thing to take even in this conversation, and it's psychologically, we normally say parents parent from a point of trauma. You parent your child from a point of what you saw being done or what you didn't see being done. So unataka kama ulisomeshwa day school ya ushago, unataka mtoto wako aende nini. It's not supposed to be that way. There are good things and there are bad things to take out of parenting. If you parent your child based on reference, alafu jipate unachukua vitu wrong, juu kuna watu wanajuanga kama mtoto hachapwi huyo hajakuwa mtoto mzuri. Lazima mtoto atandikwe ndio. But nowadays you see caning, just have conversation. Hata kama ni kiboko, chukua kama umemongelesha mara kadhaa, unaona haski. So as much as we are parenting our children, let's not parent our children from a point of trauma, from a point of reference of what our parents. There are good things to take and there are bad things to take. So teach your child. Kama ni boy child, wazazi wetu walikuwa na boy child akilia inakuwa challenge. So teach your boy children right now that it's okay to express how you feel. So it's okay to feel bad. It's okay to feel lonely. It's okay to feel bored. Ndio hata wakikuja kukua adults wanajua that expressing how they feel is very okay.
Very normal. I want us to go back to something you had brought, and I know maybe most parents would love to get to understand it a bit more. I know we don't have much time, but I want us to get back to your story, boyfriend and girlfriend. Because I mean, let's not bury our heads. It's they have boyfriends, they have girlfriends, right? So from a psychology, okay, we have a caller. Let's pick this caller and then we'll get back to that. Good morning. How are you, Zulfa?
I'm good.
Talk to us, tuambie.
I was watching on television.
Yes.
About nafanya nini watoto this holiday.
Yes.
Yes. So I was saying, for me, my kids nawapeleka nyumbani bara. They engage with their cousins from different places.
Yes.
And so wakiengage na cousins kama ni watoto wangu wa town, wanajifunza kukaa na animals, wanajifunza English, wanajifunza culture. When they come back from the holidays, they know more things which they didn't know when they are in town.
Kwa hivyo lakini hujawapeleka ili usiwe nao, umewapeleka so that they can get to also experience that other side of life.
Yes.
Okay.
Because when they're at holiday in town, I take them to the park. They know the park. They know everywhere around town. So I give them a chance to know the other side of life.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Zilpha. All right, back to you, Anthony. You know, I want to get to hear your opinion from a psychologist's point of view. The same thing you're talking about. Now, this parent comes and tells you, my son is 16 years old. He has a 15-year-old girlfriend. Na anaomba ruhusa ya kuwa hang out na yeye once in a while. How do you approach that? Kwa sababu sasa sioni kama you can tell them, no, you can't have a girlfriend, you cannot have a boyfriend. Times have changed, but I want to hear it from you.
Now, you see, how it's supposed to be done, let me start from there. Conversations about boyfriends and girlfriends and lovers and partners should be started at a very young age, and also sex. So that hata wakikuwa teenagers ama wakifika adolescents, they can be able to know and understand what sex is, how sex, at what age inafanyika aje, boyfriend ni vizuri, what is boyfriend, what is girlfriend. Because if now your child or this boy who is 16 tells you that they want permission from you to go and visit their 15-year-old girlfriend. These people are absolutely minors. They are teenagers.
Yes.
And maybe this boy has come to this mom or the dad for maybe some cash. One, Vivian, you need to appreciate the fact that this child is open enough for that. Because there are such teenagers who are wanafanyanga chini ya maji. So one, if your child comes to you and tells you they have a boyfriend or they have a girlfriend and they want maybe permission to go say hi, take them on a date, hang out and stuff, appreciate the fact that they are open enough to tell you that this is happening. Number two, just allow them. But before you allow them, give them disclaimers. For example, as I said earlier, every family system has a structure. Tell them, if really you want to go say hi to your friend, you can go say hi to your friend. If it's a girl, it's fine. But also, ikifika ni mam, kama ujai have this conversation, kama ujawai wa prepare before about sex and story of love and all that, and this is now your first time unaiface na wamekunini na wajai nini, it's start from there. It's okay, just allow them go and spend time, but also have that waeke hiyo structure na waambie kama ni kuspend time, wacha ikuwe waambie in a public place. Because wakipatikana na polisi ama whatever itakuwa shida. Another thing, kama ni kuwapea pesa, before uwapea pesa, kwanza uliza the boy, kama ni boy amekuja ama this is a girl, muulize, as much as unataka kwenda kuhang out na this other gender, na maybe unasema ni boyfriend yako ama ni girlfriend yako, what's your nature of relationship? Because you know, maybe they can say it's a boyfriend, but the understanding of boyfriend, it's a boy who is a friend, meaning they're not having any sexual whatever. So have the understanding. If they tell you, this is my girlfriend, we are lovers, tumepandana sijui for 1 year, tulipatana fanki, if they're open enough to tell you that, that's a bonus. But if they tell you, oh, we are just friends, we hang out, tulijuana maybe kwa funky na setup ile setbook za high school, ni sawa, wacha wa hang out, lakini strictly kwa in a public place. Na kama wanataka pesa na maybe wanakuambia mom nipatie kama 2000, well, usiwapatie ile open ya kuwapatia pesa. Maybe give them this first time, but also prepare them that you see, saa zingine ndio ifike level ya wewe kupata boyfriend na girlfriend saa hii, kama ni strictly nyinyi marafiki tu na hakuna kitu mnafanya, ni sawa. Now another thing, kama hamjai have conversations of sex, which I don't see, kuna wazazi wanafanyanga hivi, there are parents who actually, and it's not a good thing, I wouldn't advocate for that. I don't know what's your take. Would you give your boy child a condom? Na haja kuambia they're having a sexual relationship?
No.
Because their parents will say, I would give my boy a condom. Ndio kama wana have sex, they use it.
Okay, I think this is a whole other conversation. Can we have it as a conversation on its own, you know? Let's have it as a conversation on its own, because it's really needed. It is a conversation that is really needed. As we're saying, hakuna je ujifanye ni kama haya mambo hayaendelei, yanafanyika. So we need to have that conversation and talk about it. So probably that will be our topic next week. Let's have that as a topic next week, because as we've said, it's a long holiday and we need to really try and look at ways in which we'll ensure that our children are at home and they are safe at home, and you know, they don't get to engage in things that will be harmful to them in one way or the other. This is where we end this conversation. Thank you so very much, Nelly, for joining us. Thank you, Anthony, for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you also to each and every one of you who has gotten to contribute on this conversation. We'll see you next week to be able to continue with the conversation in that other line that has just begun. And yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to hand it over to Victor. Ama tufunge. Victor? Yeah.
The long holiday is here. Let me just take you back to my childhood dream days. I think it was one of those moments that we never wanted to come, because our aunties, Auntie Lois, wherever you are, Auntie Rebecca, I know
Not
they're
you
watching,
mentioning names.
and they will call. Our mom would send us, you know, sending us to go, you know, auntie has this and that. Kumbe, do you know what was waiting for us? It is harvesting season. They needed human labor, either planting season or something was just about to happen. So you go there and disappear from home for like around 2 weeks. By the time you're coming home, you've planted, you've harvested, the maize is dry and all that. But come to think of it, it was a way of bringing families together.
Yes.
It was a way of bringing families together. Cousins lived together. To some extent, it was not even about cousins. It was, this is my brother, this is my sister.
Yes.
But right now, can that happen? People do not even know who their cousins are.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Yes. We are out of touch.
We are completely out of touch. You say, this is my cousin, then you're like, who are you? From which side? Mother's side? You know, there's that bit of it. But back in the day, a home would have close to 15 people. You know, you have an uncle, mother, anaishi na sister yake mwingine, a younger one. Your dad also has like 2 younger brothers. So you can imagine how family setup was. So I think parents can copy. I know things have changed. But yes, we can do something to bring back the family block that it used to be back in the day.
All right.
Okay.
And
so we talked about so many things today in the morning, Vivian. A very quick one, that ODM is going to have their crisis meeting that is going to be chaired by Daktari, Siaya Senator, that is Oburu Oginga, the Central Management Committee of ODM. That is going to be the first meeting that is going to be held today to chart the way forward after the demise of the party leader Raila Odinga. So after that, then they are going to get the way on how to they are going to be running the party, whether to stick with, you know, the party ideologies as we discussed in this in the show in the morning, or to get the way forward in as far as that. We have got dissenting voices within ODM. If that Central Management Committee is going to decide on what they're going to do, then it means they're going to toe the party lines as was prescribed, and the former party leader, the late Raila Odinga, aspired for the party to have that run until 2027. Of course, we are going to get much more coming later on in our subsequent bulletins, and we'll be discussing that tomorrow in the morning at 7 a.m. on People and Politics.
Absolutely.
Vivian.
That is something that we will definitely be keeping tabs with and get to look at what will come out of that meeting. And of course, I know that will set the tone for tomorrow's Conversation Matters Politics. So you want to stay tuned tomorrow, same time and place right here on Good Morning Kenya. We end the show on that note. My name is Vivian Dagwa, and this has been Good Morning Kenya. Thank you so much for staying with us. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine,